Oh, hey, bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Welcome, my youth. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in pop culture and hot topics, all that good stuff. So if that's a show for you, definitely stick around because we have an action-packed show today. Including, we got to talk about this doomsday situation. Looks like one of them won the war in regards of who's going to get which IMAX screens. We'll get into that. Plus, we're going to talk about Netflix is officially about to handle this $83 billion sale, which is they're doing an all-cash deal. So we'll give you the latest on that. Plus, we got to talk about this Don Lemon, Nicki Minaj, MAGA Minaj beef going on. Definitely is getting juicy. He talked about some stuff today. Also, we'll get into that. Plus, I think I may have a reason why all of a sudden she's doing this crash out because something came out that there's a decision regarding a judge is going to have to make on Thursday regarding all this mess that's going on. So we'll talk about that. Plus, we got to talk about the Beckhams because apparently Brooklyn Beckham spilling tea about Posh and Becks. And child, it is getting juicy. So we definitely got to get into that. Plus, speaking of family feuds, it looks like the Michael Jackson estate is demanding $150,000 in costs of fees from this whole legal battle regarding, from Paris Jackson. So we'll get into that. Plus, we got to get into this Glambot creator who has been dealing with some type of backlash over this whole, for Lopez being rude towards him at this situation. Wait, hold on. I got to check something because I just realized there was something I didn't check. My audio. Hold on. Okay, so I think I got it on the thing that I wanted to. Anyway, so we got some news regarding Magic Mike and Channing Tatum. So we're gonna get into that. Did Ascars come as an Alexander Skarsgard come out as bisexual with this whole Pillion movie that he has coming out? We'll get into the tea regarding that. Plus, I cackled. François Arnaud appeared on Watch What Happens Live, and Andy Cohen tried to get all up in his personal business, try to find out if he and Storrie are hunching. And his response was iconic. So we'll get into that. Plus, we got the Queerties Awards. We got to get into the nominations regarding that. Karamo Brown looked like he finally is like, fuck this show, as in Queer Eye, because he ain't been doing these press tours regarding the show and said that he's putting his mental health first and and is trying to keep his peace regarding what's going on with that. So apparently there's some drama going on that we don't know about, but we'll get into the tea, we'll get into the clips, all this stuff. Speaking of which, we are a clip heavy show because I got a lot of clips regarding what's going on. And plus, speaking of beefs, Bob the drag queen and Monet fighting. So there seems to be a real life sibling rivalry between the sibling rivalry co-hosts. We'll break all that down, and it's got something to do with Ginger Min. She's in the middle of it. So we got all that and a whole lot more. So before we get to all of that tea, if you could please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you were new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash that notification bell so that we when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And yeah, before we get started, I do want to apologize because I know I'm supposed to come on at 5, but I did put on Facebook 5 p.m.-ish because it was like I was literally done 2 minutes before I was supposed to go live. But then I got hungry. I had to feed my dogs, so I had to eat, feed them, and now we back. And then of course, I had to brush my teeth. Look, I got to put a whole presentation situation together, even though y'all can't smell me through the camera. I was like, no, I got to brush my teeth and all this stuff after I eat. I can't just be sitting up in here being like, well, people do all kinds of gross shit. Not me. I got to be hygienically fresh, even if I'm in the room by myself. Y'all ain't gonna be out here talking about, all the rumors regarding how Donald Trump smells. But anyway, let me hit my banner. Let's see what the people are saying. Check the latest tweets from Kim Petras. Oh, trust and believe I did, and we're gonna talk about it before we get into these stories. She damn sure is. Fuck that bitch. And he said Andy is a true bird, as in Cohen. Yes, he is. And that's why I was glad that François gathered his ass. And then he tried to be cute about it by trying to drag Mary J. Blige into the situation. We'll get into it, but I was like, Queen, stand on your buffoonery. But anyway, speaking of the Kim Petras, let me put this up to give a backstory. So yeah, literally 30 minutes before I was supposed to go live, and that was around 5 o'clock. He damn sure don't. and that's where they was talking about that he farts a lot, and then they said he stinks. He definitely look like he stinks. If you think he got body odor, can you imagine what that cotton breath smell like? For that cotton mouth. Anyway, so no wait, that's not the one I want to go into. This is the team. So yeah, the Kim Petras thing. I want to bring that real close. I wasn't doing all pictures, background, all that other stuff. We'll just talk about it. So apparently, Kim Petras is calling out her record label, Republic Records, because this album I thought was supposed to be coming out. I don't know what's going on with it, but she put out a series of tweets. So let's get into it. So um I got to go all the way to the beginning to where it all started. So yeah, well, they said on February 13th she's going to be performing in Berlin, Germany, along with Margot XS, and at the iconic Berghain nightclub. So that she did put that out, but literally an hour ago, she posted the following tweets. She said, "My album has been done for 6 months, but my record label has refused to give me a release date or pay my collaborators for the work they've done." And then she put, "Oh yeah, I also filmed and self-funded a music video for over 2 months ago for my next single that they also wouldn't give me a release date for." Then put, "Best MV I've ever done, by the way, music video, 9 looks, 6 setups, 13 pairs of shoes." Then she also went on to say, "I'm tired of having no control over my own life and career. I want to continue to self-fund and self-curate my own music. This is why I have formally requested to be dropped by Republic Records," and even tagged them in the tweet. She said, "I won a Grammy 2 years ago. The music is tea. Still no support. If it's not a TikTok trend or 80s revival queer baiting shit, these labels have no interest in supporting." Girl, you better call their asses out, because how long have I been saying this? This is why I call myself, and I can't stand the fact when a lot of these people be out here to my king of pop culture and all that other bullshit. Bitch, I'm gonna give myself a coin. I am the prophet of pop culture, because a lot of times when I say shit on this show, months and years later, it always comes to light. So when people be trying to act like I don't know what the hell I be talking about, the prophet say stuff and it usually comes true. Correct? And I'm sure that there's quite a few of y'all up in here that can vouch for that. So I'm glad she's been saying it, because I said they've been doing her dirty. Who else is on Republic Records? Because I've been saying like RCA, Republic, they're all trash. This is why I feel like a lot of times as an artist, you have your own specific fan base. So I don't think Kim needs Republic or these other records. Self-finance your stuff, self-fund your stuff, which you've been doing. She can capitalize off the Grammy win and everything. Put out the music you want to put out. The fans that support you will support you. The ones that don't, they can kick rocks and go off and find follow the next trend that they want to follow. And so I like that she's called them out. And my thing is this: I'd be even shadier. I'd leak the album and be like, "I'll take the L. If I don't make no money off it, oh well." But what I'll do is I'll make a deal with somebody and be like, "Let's put together a small little tour." Because it seemed like she's going through the same thing that Ava Max was going through with this recent album, the Don't Click Play album, and how she hasn't been in control of her career. So all these people that's running around here thinking like like having a record label or whatever the case is going to help you in the long run. Yes, they can help and push you in so many ways, but they're barely doing that. The old guard of the way record labels run is no longer existent. So why even put in the energy of wanting to be signed when you could just put your stuff out there? And look, at the end of the day, she said, "I'm dropping Detour regardless." So she heard me. I was like, "Bitch, just drop the record. Fuck their ass. Fuck them over there at your record label. If they want to sit up in here and be like," because I'm like, I got the masters, I got the whole thing. I'll put it up online. If you try me, it is what it is. So I just don't like the way that they treat. Wait, hold on. Did they announce who's going to be on the new season of House of Villains? Yes, they did. Yeah, I didn't even know this was. Hold on now. Now we got another breaking news story. So shout out to you, Kim Petras. Okay, so this wasn't even on the docket, child, but apparently we got the list of people, and this looks pretty interesting. So it looks like, wait, did we even hear that this was the cast? Hold on. Let me pull that up so y'all can see who the cast is. Because I was just minding my business, and all of a sudden Twitter just exposed this. So, of course, yet again, Tiffany New York Pollard, then they got Tyson from Survivor. I don't know who that is. Plain Jane from Drag Race. Paul from Big Brother. Don't know who that is. Ashley oh yeah, I know Ashley from The Challenge. Um, Johnny from Love Island. Kate from Below Deck. I don't watch that show. Tom Sandoval is on there. Christine Quinn from Selling Sunset. Drita Devanzo from Mob Wives and Jackie Christie from Basketball Wives. Okay, so I'll definitely be watching this because February 26th is when the show comes out. I like Drita. I like Jackie. Christine Quinn, she was cute. I used to watch a couple of seasons of Selling Sunset. It was never something I really stuck with, but I watched it. Tom Sandoval, I know he's a little controversial, but he is definitely good TV. So I'll be watching for him. Ashley is kind of like out there where the buses don't run, so she definitely will work up in this. You know, we love Tiffany, but girl, I don't know what type of drug you're using. Probably that same shit Vanessa Williams is on, but you need to lay off it because you're looking a little crackheadish. And Plain Jane, definitely entertaining. She makes good TV, so I'll definitely be watching that. So yeah, that's the latest so far. I know it's a like I told her it was gonna be an action-packed show. I'm just coming across a lot of stuff. So before we get to the stuff, let me see what else is being said. Not another Universal artist crying. Universal's trash too. It's just like they first of all, they own too much shit. Universal needs to kind of like back off. But then y'all thought Prince was talking for no reason. Absolutely. That's why he put slave on his face. And a lot of y'all continue to keep going out and signing these record deals and they're all trash. I even had somebody in my comments when I was talking about something regarding Salt and Pepper, and they wrote that their sister was trying to get signed to a record label and she was a rapper, whatever the case was. And the girl's father was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna have my attorneys look at the contract and we'll get right back to you. And they were like, no, you need to sign on the dotted line now or the contract is null and void. So you pretty much understand what that means. Basically, is like they were trying to get her cooped up or caught up in some shitty ass contract, and this girl will probably be trying to pay off a debt that she never be able to pay off. Because that's what they want to do. They want to throw all this money at you and say, well, you're going to owe us on the back end and we got to recoup. And it just become this big old cycle of, I'm not getting anywhere with this. Because it don't make no sense how 30 some odd years in the game and Salt and Pepper can't own the rights to their music. So that's why I just put it out there yourself. Work from the ground up. Use social media is the perfect way to get y'all stuff out there. And people need to really push and try to be and look and discover new talent instead of looking for TikTok algorithms and all those other stuff to determine who's hot and who isn't. Conan Gray, they've been well, the only one as I guess they've been really pushing is Morgan Wallen, racist ass, and Taylor Swift. And Ariana is girl, whatever. Now I heard that she's going back to being black again. And then Conan Gray, the music's cute, but I haven't seen them out here really promoting his stuff. Yes, they are. Republic only cares about not ponytail. Insider say Republic is punishing her for refusing to work with Dr. Luke since the contract is with him. Well, nobody wants to work with his problematic ass. First of all, you already saw what happened when Katy Perry worked with his ass. That album flopped. 143 was TRASH. So I'm not risking the rest of my career to work with somebody who's problematic, all because you want me to work with them. And then people be like, "No, you still working with Dr. Puke? I'm not supporting you." I love Kim, and it upsets me to see her label treatment, but I am not surprised that yet another openly queer, well, gay and trans artist is being mistreated. Of course, and this is why I said like the LGBTQ plus community, y'all need to start supporting our artists and stop supporting bitches like MAGA Minaj because she run out here saying derogatory slurs towards the community, and y'all still be out here buying her shit. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I get 100 on not 100 on Jackie Christie. She has that crackhead streak. Like I always say, queer trans artists that do not appeal to a straight audience will always be treated as a novelty piece, hence why Frank Ocean and Tyler the Creator are seemingly so popular. Well, there you have it, yeah. All right, y'all. So now after we did a little bit of that, let's get actually into the topics. And let's talk about Dune Part 3, because apparently it looks like Dune has won the battle and the war in this whole Doomsday situation, because, they're talking about Avengers Doomsday so far, and Dune Part 3 are scheduled to open in theaters on December 18th, 2026. So that's the latest so far. Nobody's decided to move, but apparently, and I was sitting there wondering, I'm like, with all this happening, who's going to get the IMAX screenings? Who's going to end up in IMAX? Who's going to end up in all these other? And I'm like, they got 40K, they got Dolby, they got all these different options that they could use. And I was like, are they going to split the time? Like, you get to watch Avengers Doomsday at this time early in the day, and in the evening they're going to flip it and give it to Dune or whatever. But no, it looks like what they said for 3 weeks. IMAX screenings will be showing Dune 3. So right now they said currently being dubbed Doomsday by not just the internet, but the leading men of each picture. Well, Robert Downey Jr. and Timothée Chalamet basically took it from the internet. The internet dubbed it Doomsday, and they out here trying to take credit. Sounds like typical Hollywood, by the way. Excuse me. Many are wondering if one of these films will blink and move. Warner's did lock in that date first for Dune Part 3, and now longtime box office analyst Empire City Box Office have made it clear that Warner's isn't moving. They indicate Denis Villeneuve directed Dune film has exclusively claimed all IMAX screens for 3 consecutive weeks, something they won't be able to repeat for months. The one possible nearby release window that was looking thin early November was quickly filled in the other week with J.J. Abrams' The Great Beyond and Godzilla Minus Zero. The deal means that there will be no IMAX screens available for Avengers Doomsday, at least for its first few weeks. Doom Part 3 shot major sequences with IMAX cameras, whereas Doomsday doesn't appear to have used them at all. And to me, I think that's perfect that they decided to do that, because I'm like, wait a minute, Dune had this slot first, and they were smart enough to go and be like, you know what, we picked this slot. We're gonna secure those IMAX screens, because people think like y'all, they decide within a week to secure stuff. No, they've been doing this. A lot of this stuff, like even when you see the trailers and those other months in advance, they plan all of this. So it's not just something that they just did like a week ago and now you just seeing it. So that'd be crazy. So um this one was smart on their part. So it's like they did checkmate, bitch, to y'all over there at the MCU. And shout out to Warner's for doing that. And we're gonna get into the Warner's thing with Netflix in a second. But here's the thing: shout out to Boss Logic, because he's been doing some awesome like some fan designs of like the Doomsday covers, like like what do you call it, the posters or whatever. It looks really cool. I think like if you were in Hollywood, you definitely need to hire him. I just want to show y'all what some of these look like. Like this looks really cool, his designs. And I don't think like people really put time and effort into creating really cool posters or whatever. I'm like, this whole event, like the Avengers and the Dune and all that other stuff where they're putting in their Doomsday, I just think like it's really awesome with this. I hope Hollywood starts to work with him and all that stuff, because I just think that a lot of his stuff is pretty good. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Doomsday? It's like, okay, if y'all want to sit up here and fight for the same audience, which I want to see both movies. So if y'all want to sit up here and fight for the same audience, then be my guest. But at least I'm glad that Warner Brothers was smart enough that they secured 3 weeks of IMAX screenings. I don't know what's going to happen with Avengers. Maybe they'll be like, well, we'll secure Dolby. And here's the thing: if you didn't shoot your stuff with IMAX cameras, you can have Dolby. The surround sound, all the other stuff would be cool. And to me, when I go to Dolby, I go to Dolby or IMAX. It doesn't matter. I'm still paying the same amount of money. But then again, I will say this: I have A-list, so Dolby and IMAX comes with that. I'm paying 27 a month. That all is included. So it's not going to hurt me, because I'm paying like a monthly thing for A-list, whereas the regular moviegoer who doesn't subscribe to A-list is like, yeah, you got to make the decision. Okay, which one I'm going to go see? But I'll probably see both movies within that weekend, and we'll see who comes out on top, since this is the game y'all want to play. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Child, I totally forgot to put the comments thing on. And you said one thing Zendaya is in Avengers Doomsday, and well, I don't know if she's in Avengers Doomsday. She's in Spider-Man. Whatever the hell home title is called. But she's in Spider-Man and she's in Dune. I don't think she's in Avengers Doomsday. She doesn't need to be in that. There's no reason for her. And I don't even think Tom Holland's in Avengers Doomsday. We haven't heard any stories of whether or not he appears in it. He might appear in Secret Wars, but there's no actual word on he's in Doomsday. So Zendaya's only in one of the two. Like I said, I'm so excited for Wuthering Heights. I know you're not the biggest fan of Charlie's recent release for the soundtrack, but I am living for it in the film. And I'm sure it'll get rave reviews somewhere. All right, y'all. So now let's move on to our next topic and let's get into this Netflix tea. So apparently, we did mention the other day that Netflix was interested in doing an all cash deal because Paramount is playing this game of manipulation and all this other stuff. You already know, like the Ellisons already bought up TikTok, like 80% of it. They're already trying to create a certain narrative regarding owning a lot of our media and all this other stuff. They did the same thing with CBS. I heard the stock over there, CBS is in the toilet, or I should say Paramount is pretty has pretty much gone down since they've decided to change up the narrative of what Paramount is and what they're trying to do. It's not working. So this small little cult of people that are all team what a MAGA or whatever, it's not they're not the majority. They don't speak for a lot of America and beyond. So you're seeing this affecting your bottom line and the finances. So I hope it's worth it that y'all decide to jump on the line over there with Trump and align yourself with his ideologies and his BS, because now you're seeing that your finances is hurting. I also heard that Oracle, who Larry Ellison owns, has within the last couple of months has lost over 350 billion dollars. That's with a B, not an M. So he's burning money over there too. So financially, y'all not doing well, and yet they're still trying to buy up Netflix. I mean, yeah, no, Warner Brothers. They're trying to get Warner Brothers, all this other stuff. So now Netflix has said that we want to do an all cash deal because Paramount's trying to play this little game and they tired of their BS. And even so we saw recently the judge when was like, okay, you wasting my time. I'm tossing this situation. Like, stop playing in my face. So one of the words of Judge Judy, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. So, with all that being said, now, according to Deadline, they said the new offer still values Warner at $27.75. I can't say 27.75, or maybe I could because otherwise I would say 2,775. But yes, the new offer values Warner's at 27.75 per share, but it removes the $4.50 Netflix stock element, which was part of the earth-shaking agreement revealed last December. Discovery Global, the parent of cable networks CNN, TNT, Food Network, and many others, is not part of Netflix's proposal because all they want is the movies. They want the movies, and I guess they just want all the IPs. They want the movies and they want the TV shows and all the other stuff. So, but then again, like they said, they don't have CNN, TNT, Food Network, so they just want, like, a lot of the movies. So they said that WBD had said it intends to split the two companies this year under the Netflix plan. The split would still happen within the next 6 to 9 months prior to Netflix taking over the studio and streaming side of the media giant. Bloomberg reported last week that Netflix was looking to switch its proposal to all cash. Now, Paramount Skydance, meanwhile, has made a hostile bid for all of Warner Brothers Discovery, including the cable networks. The Larry Ellison-backed media company said last week it plans to mount a proxy fight in order to prevail in the M&A tug of war. Paramount has also sued, like a bunch of bitches, WBD in Delaware Chancery Court, saying, aiming to compel WBD to disclose more data about its deal-making process. But meanwhile, why don't y'all do the same thing? Like, you want us to show you what we're doing in our deal-making process. That's none of your damn business. My deal with Netflix and you having to try to match the proposal, if not try to bump the proposal to show me why I should go with y'all instead of Netflix, that's what you should be focusing on. Not the fact of that, you know, you want to see what our financial dealings is. That's none of your damn business. These damn Ellisons running around here stomping their feet and acting like they got this sense of entitlement, like somebody owes them the stuff. We don't owe you shit, sir. Just run Paramount into the ground, because then eventually you're gonna run it so bad you're gonna end up having to sell it. So it's funny how we'll see how long this lasts. Somebody's gonna have to create a whole new version of TikTok, because the way they suppressing people's information and wanting to get out information about what's happening around the world and what our fascist regime, because it ain't a government, it's a regime at this point, what they're all the things that they're trying to do and assert themselves in other people's businesses, and you got an orange smelly idiot that's running around saying that he stopped 8 wars. No, sir, you started them. You don't know how to prevent things because you're a chaos demon. And the fact that you got these billionaires and these oligarchs that are jumping on this situation because they thinking they're gonna get something out of it. So we'll just go along with it because as long as we get our tax incentives, that's all that matters. So they said the amended all-cash transaction was unanimously approved by the boards of directors for both Netflix and WBD and remains subject to completion for the Discovery Global spinoff, regulatory approvals, approval of WBD stockholders, and other closing conditions. President Donald Trump has signaled both support and distrust for the deal. That's probably the dementia talking, but his say will play a major factor in the deal going through. Warner Brothers Discovery. I don't like the fact that, well, I guess because of federal funding, I just don't like the fact that the president, who can't even, who has no idea about any art of any deal, is up here the one that gets to make the final decision because he's a horrible deal maker. He's been that way his entire career. All of this has been pointed out to y'all, but y'all still think that we need to run the United States like a damn business. That's how fascism starts. So WBD today gave a price to the spinoff Discovery Global after the advisors applied 3 different metrics. The first values the company at a low of $1.33 per share and a high of $3.24. Should Discovery Global become involved in a potential future transaction, this could rise to as much as $6.86 per a proxy filing made in the past few hours, saying, quote, today's revised merger agreement brings us even closer to combining 2 of the greatest storytelling companies in the world, and with it, even more people enjoying the entertainment they love to watch the most. By coming together with Netflix, we will combine the stories Warner Brothers has told they have captured the world's attention for more than a century and ensure audiences continue to enjoy them for generations to come. I know a lot of people are feeling a way about this whole Warner Brothers Netflix merger. I don't feel no ways upset about it. I've been for it since the beginning because I was like, you know what? Netflix, the one thing, say what you want about Netflix. I know a lot of people have an issue with a lot of the programs on there. They do great shows. The movie side is a bit mid. A lot of times y'all put movies on y'all channels, and I'm like, this was a choice. So when it comes down to that, I understand that. But then again, Netflix doesn't has something. Netflix doesn't have a studio like all these other places. And for them to be like, you know what, we're going to let these people who know what they're doing at Warner Brothers, who've been around, and the studio's been around for like over a century. So we're going to let these people, Mike DeLuca, Pam Abdi, David Zaslav, James Gunn, Peter Safran, we're going to let those people over there who are doing what they're doing do what they do. We're going to let them do that. We're going to do the 45, I mean, how many years I always forget, 43, 45-day window in the theaters. And then once that's done, we have exclusive access to a lot of those movies and stuff. So now on Netflix, you can see you can probably see all the shows and everything on Netflix. You can see, I do wonder if they're gonna put any of the Game of Thrones, the House of the Dragon, and all that other stuff on there. Speaking of which, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I don't know if y'all saw that, but I thoroughly enjoyed that first episode. I don't like all the bodily fluid stuff y'all put up in there, where I'm seeing the lead guy, what was his name? For the tall guy, I'm like, okay, you're a giant, and he got a big ass. But the scene of him pooping, I'm like, did we need that? And then the guy was in the spit cup. I'm like, come on. But I understand, like, y'all wanted to show it like it was regular people doing regular things, but the bodily fluid sequences was sending me. And I like the little kid Egg that's now his, been following his squire that's following him around. So I like that whole dynamic. It's kind of like what do they call that? That Chinese show. What was that? Old Man and Cub or something like that. It kind of gives me that whole vibe. This guy traveling and he's got the little kid with him, and we don't have any strollers that got like all kinds of gadgets a part of it that it kills people. That's like the iconic stuff from that movie. But anyway, so I do wonder, like, we're gonna be getting to see a lot of the Warner Brothers stuff that's gonna be on Netflix. You'll be able to see that now. I do wonder what's gonna happen with HBO Max. Like, these are all the things that we gotta figure out, because with all these mergers going on with all these streaming services, the streaming service is becoming increasingly expensive. It does kind of stress me out a little bit because I do subscribe to a lot of streaming services, and I'm trying to save some money. Especially when they talking about like with Hulu about to be absolved into Disney Plus. And I do see they got the hubs and stuff because I have checked out Disney Plus and they did kind of fix it up a little bit. And they have the little hubs and stuff over there. So I am wondering how they're gonna make all of that work. And then does that mean that once y'all start the mergers, where you're gonna have a HBO Max hub within Netflix, does that mean my Netflix is about to go up to a high price? Because I'm already paying $17, $18. I think about 17 bucks I'm paying. Does that mean I'm gonna be paying 25 now? Like, y'all gotta ease up on my wallet. So yeah, I'll definitely be checking this story out as it continues. I'm really hoping that the deal goes through, but you already know we got the chaos demon in the White House. He gonna fuck it up for the rest of us, because we can't apparently have nice things. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Netflix, saying that they're now moved on to an all cash deal and they're ready to go with everything. So whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. Who you telling? Don't even get me started on that whole thing about Drag Race. I already did a whole video on that. How do you have a whole streaming service and you're not even showing like you haven't even thought about, okay, so Drag Race comes out on MTV on Friday. People are at the bars or whatever, and they're watching Drag Race parties and all on the mess. And then Saturday, they don't think to like put the episode up and people just watch it. That's what they should have did. This is so stupid. Like it's just dumb. Like how they're dropping the ball on all this. They don't have that. You got to wait months for that to come on Paramount Plus, and you got to wait months for the challenge. But they have no problem showing All Stars. Like make that make sense. But like they were saying, like a PBN or whatever, PVN, use that to watch Drag Race. I think that's how some people be doing it. And it's like, well, I'll just use the Drag Race UK app or whatever and use the PVN for that and then just watch the episodes that way. Exactly. And we saw like there's people from around the world who have been sending their troops over there to protect Greenland. So if our own constituents aren't going to do what needs to be done over here and reel this fucker in, then what needs to happen is we need our international allies to jump in and do what needs to be done because we got weak ass politicians on both sides that are so damn scared to do it. Did you hear that dumb shit that old queen, Cory fucking Booker, decided to talk about with the whole ICE situation? I'm like, no, we need to apologize. And shout out to Zoran Mamdani who did that shit ass show, The View. I gotta watch it, by the way. Because Zoran was on The View today and he said, yeah, I'm ready to abolish. They need to be abolished. Now, I don't think he could do anything about it, but he said, yeah, ICE to be abolished. And they're already going to turn abolish ICE into a catchphrase like defund the police. I already see what y'all trying to do with that. Because one thing about Republicans, master marketers, and they know how to turn something into a soundbite and get people all up in arms and riled up. But you can't sit up in here and make excuses for ICE and what they're doing, especially after you see when they literally murdered a woman in cold blood in her car. And then did y'all see that video with that racist white supremacist person that was in the ICE uniform, got up there, was saying all kinds of stuff. He got his ass beat. I was laughing, and it was making him do this. I said, what kind of gay porn am I watching right now? I thought it was a gay porn shot, but apparently it wasn't. It was like they was out there trying to take that man's life. And he got in somebody's car, and they were trying to drag him out. Of course, they had black folks that ended up saving his ass because at the end of the day, when the shit hits the fan, who always comes to the rescue? Black people. But that but people ain't ready for that damn conversation. Now, speaking of Negroes who was being disrespectful over here on Martin Luther King birthday of all people, let's get into MAGA Minaj and her foolish damnness. So this bitch decided to jump on the line yesterday and call out Don Lemon because Don Lemon took his behind down to because since we were already talking about it, he went down to what was it? Minnesota? Because apparently there is this pastor, I believe he's a pastor, priest, whatever. Y'all all full of shit in these mega churches, whatever. Don't even get me started on your sky daddies, your book of fairy tales, and organized religion. Because to me, there's nothing that brings there's nothing about religion that really brings people together. Me, I follow more of a spiritual path. How you live your life is how you live your life. Live, live, live. As long as you're not hurting me or anybody else, live your life how you want to live. A lot of these ultra religious or people who say that they're Christian, most judgmental people I've ever come across, nasty, disgusting attitudes, and act like they shit don't stink. So I don't particularly care for people who are of a religious background or whatever the case is, because y'all just be as phony as they come. Now, in this situation, this fake ass bitch that all of a sudden run around like she a Christian, which she's fucking not, had the nerve to jump on the social media and try to come for Don Lemon because he was out there. He went to he was out in Minnesota. I don't even think he even knew that there was a situation going on regarding um a priest or a pastor who literally was out here helping ICE on the low. And that was exposed. So they was over there protesting him at his church because he out here being a pick me for the he can white people be pick me for their own people? So yeah, so they said on Sunday, January 18th, the independent journalist shared video footage from a protest in the Twin Cities where activists interrupted a service at a church where David Easterwood, a local immigration and customs enforcement agent, how you a pastor and you working for ICE? You ain't been able to grift enough money out of your constituents with them collection plates. You had to go over there and run with ICE. See, this is why them motherfuckers be hiding their damn face. Now they say Easterwood is listed as a pastor on the city's church website. He is also listed as the acting director of ICE's St. Paul field office in a December 19th cease and desist sent by St. Paul City Attorney Lindsay M. Olson over an ICE-related incident, saying, quote, Minneapolis activists disrupted a church service where David Easterwood serves as a pastor, according to a lawyer and activist by the name of Nicki. Easterwood is also the acting field office director for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in St. Paul, Minnesota. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who's 59 and looks damn good, I might add, went and posted the video on Blue Sky and actually had footage of the protest. So, of course, I had to come with the receipts. So, let me pull up this video courtesy of his Blue Sky when he was out there in interviewing people. And we will come back because, we like receipts and context on this show, unlike some of these retarded ass barbs who like to run around with narratives and things and don't do their research when they really fucking need to. So we're going to play this clip and then we're going to come back and talk. Please hold.
Tell us why you're doing this.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there. And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now.
ICE out! ICE out! ICE out! ICE out! ICE out! ICE out!
Demanding justice for Renee Good and letting them know that this will not stand. They cannot pretend to be a house of God while harboring someone who is directing ICE agents to wreak havoc upon our community and who killed Renee Good, who almost killed a 6-month-old baby. Enough is enough. I am a reverend on top of being a lawyer and an activist. So I come here in the power of the Almighty God.
Tell us why you're doing this.
This is
So what she said. Now, after all of that, because apparently this broad likes to just jump on social media because she's a damn chaos demon, like Donald Trump, damn chaos demons. They like to rile you up. They like to start their mess, but don't be understanding the context of why they're going to jump in and say things that they say. She just jumps on social media with her stupid ass Chucky picture and then wants to just say a bunch of stuff, which I keep saying, bitch, you keep using the wrong damn doll. First of all, Chucky was anti-consumerism. Have you ever even seen Child's Play? Apparently not, because if you ever seen the first movie, the movie was about that this big good guy doll was all the rage, kind of like how my buddy and kid sister, I know my younger brother used to actually have a my buddy. I was a little too old for my buddy at that point, but my younger brother had a my buddy doll, whatever the case was, and they literally looked like a Chucky doll, except he had blonde hair and Chucky had red hair. So back in the 80s or whatever the case was, they had these dolls, whatever the case was. And in the movie, it was basically about this woman was trying to get her hands on this doll that was all the rage. And if y'all ever seen like how it was back in the day, how people used to go to these stores and want to get their thing on their hands on the next big toy, be it a Cabbage Patch or My Buddy or whatever, or Teddy Ruxpin. Remember those? So when you had one of those, the people be wilding out in the stores or whatever. So apparently she comes across this person in an alleyway that sells her this doll. Apparently the doll is possessed by a demon, or Charles Lee Ray, a serial killer, and all hell breaks loose. So if you really look in the deep trenches of what Child's Play is about, it's about it's about consumerism. I can't say anti-consumer, it's about consumerism. And that's really what the root of it is. And plus, also, you out here trying to be homophobic, bitch. Are you not aware Chucky also has a non-binary child? So you be trying to think you eating with stuff, but you always come out here looking like a straight up bird. Fucking idiot. And the more she talks, the more stupid she comes across. Because I got also post a video on her where she came out talking about religion, her favorite quote. Oh, that was a cackle. It just goes to show, like, girl, you don't even know what the hell you talking about. You just about as phony as they come. You're just trying to jump on something because you need attention, because you got a son that basically the only way he communicates, he got to bang on the table. And the fact that you have a husband that don't truly love you. So who else you communicating with? You by yourself, you lonely up in that damn house, is punching the air, looking at the four walls, and allegedly putting that powder up your nose. So who you having conversations? So you got to go on social media with these crash outs because you bored, you unhappy with your life. But bitch, guess what? You created this monster. So you decided to make your bed, now lay in it. So this is the post that she decided to put up online. And it says the following: Don C. Sucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. So he was just out there minding his business, doing the job. He's out in the field interviewing people, similar to like what Status Quo is doing. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Status Quo. Definitely check them out. They be out there on the ground following and recording and reporting on a lot of what's been happening in our country, particularly when they was doing Alligator Auschwitz, when they were out there on the ground reporting that. I've been following them ever since. And then they went and they did this thing with the church. So he was out there doing what a journalist, ma'am, because last time I checked, you supposed to be a rapper, right? Why you not rapping? Instead of acting up in here, acting like because you can put out a couple of tweets on something that you don't understand what you're talking about, that it makes you sound smart, but it's only making you sound like a fucking idiot, which you are. And it goes to show that a lot of these celebrities that y'all like to follow around, they're all less than smart. Sidebar, I actually want to clarify something, because the other day we was talking about, because when we talking about rappers and MAGA and all this other stuff, there was a report that came out that everybody was running with, and even I ran with it, but I didn't get all the details, about Ludacris doing this festival with Kid Rock and all this other stuff. Well, apparently, according to Shaka Zulu, who was a part of Luda's camp, he had a conversation with, and I'm gonna give shout out to Ebro, because he brought this up on Ebro in the morning. So I do want to use that and clarify and say that, yeah, we all ran with this story, but we didn't know the real tea. And apparently, according to Shaka Zulu, he said that Ludacris was never on the list. They decided to run with it. And I guess maybe what it was that there was maybe a deal in place that maybe Luda was gonna sign on or whatever. This is me thinking out loud. I think Luda was thinking about doing it. He probably was weighing his options. Of course, with all the backlash, he was like, nah, I'm not doing it. And they didn't take his name off. So they wanted to start some mess and probably get back at him. But they should have put this out there from the beginning. Why haven't y'all gotten on social media and told these reporters to clarify this? If Luda is not, if I said from the beginning, he's not a part of it. But anyway, I just want to say that as it pertains to this and get that out the way. So yeah, so she decided to put that up there. And then I had somebody in my comments when I posted online talking about, I didn't know calling somebody a C-sucker as a derogatory is homophobic. See, this is the part that pissed me off, when y'all be sitting up here trying to play in my face like I'm dumb. That's the one thing, that is like a trigger for me. If you're going to sit up here and try to play like people are stupid. When you have a woman, and you already know there's already situations where Black women have an issue with whenever gay men do something that don't sit right with them, y'all ready to call us sissies, punks, and rhymes with maggots. Y'all be quick with that. And I know, because I've heard it and I've witnessed it. And I've had to cuss motherfuckers out at that point, to the point where them bitches ran away in tears and wished that and wanted to basically look back on their life and wonder why am I even here? Like, yeah, you should have went. Like, I curse people out to the point you're gonna wish that your mother aborted you at this point. That's how deep I go. And I made many a bitches cry, and I feel no ways tired about it. Because this mouth is disgusting. You know, this mouth is lethal, and I don't give a good goddamn. I dig into the worst parts of hell. I circle the 7 rings of hell when they talk about when they go low. That's how deep I go, and I don't feel no ways tired about it. So we already have that issue when it comes to that sort of thing. But when you have a woman who's out here calling a man a sea-sucker, knowing full on well he's gay, how else are we supposed to receive that? How else are we supposed to take that? Yes, it's rooted in homophobia because you know this man being gay, he sucks dick. Well, at least he's doing something. What you doing for your husband, ma'am? I'll wait. Maybe if you were sucking your husband dick, y'all wouldn't be out here doing what you doing and doing it the right way. You probably wouldn't be needing to come out here and doing the things that you're doing. But yet again, when you say these things, we misogynistic, we saying things mean against women. So y'all get to say whatever the fuck y'all want to say. But then when we clap the fuck back, we're in the wrong. No, bitch, you get the same energy that you give out. I'm not sitting here tap dancing like this hoe does because y'all don't like you being just as bad. Well, I guess the fuck I am. And what you gonna do about it? Nothing. So yeah, and then all of a sudden, then she was like saying she was started making derogatory comments talking about that he all of a sudden, you know, he's married to a white man, and all of a sudden now he want to be out here doing this stuff with black people, whatever. And it's like, yeah, once upon a time I did side eye Don Lemon with certain things, whatever the case was, but that's probably because he was over there with that CNN. But once he decided to become and I'm just being funny. Once he decided to cut them shackles over, become a free slave from CNN, and he came over here to our side of the our neck of the woods, became a independent and a free thinker. His show was skyrocketed. Him and Joy Reid, welcome to the club. I'm glad y'all came over to the right side. And now they out here telling people the real tea about what's going on in the world. So, ma'am, you need to catch up to what's going on because Don Lemon's been out here doing the work. And the things that CNN would probably tell him not to do if he was still working over there, now he can come over here and do all the things and then try to say he said misogynistic things, whatever. Okay, those are accusations. We don't even know if that shit is true. So, but then Don Lemon went on his show and decided to point out that, all the things about Nicki Minaj and her money troubles and the thing about the house, which we're going to get into that in a second. And the fact about her husband is a convicted sex offender and failed to register when they moved to LA, which got him on the probation. So it's all public record. So when everybody wants to come in and bend themselves like pretzels, saying, this is not what happened. No, Google is your friend. CBS, all the majors have basically come out and corroborated this. So when y'all sit up in here trying to bend yourselves like a damn pretzel, so that way, because you want to protect your faith, who wouldn't even spit on your ass if you was on fire, then you continue to do that. You continue to sit in the cult. And that's why a lot of y'all like Nicki, because she's similar to Trump, with the fact that a lot of y'all sit in this cultist type bullshit, this cultist behavior. So with all that being said, Don also, after she said what she said, Don got on his platform and clapped back. He said a whole lot of stuff. I mean, you got to watch his Don Lemon show. He did something with him and DL. DL ate him up. And I do have that DL clip too, where he spoke to TMZ. There was a lot of acronyms. CNN, MSNBC, CBS, TMZ. I've been saying so many acronyms, child, my brain is starting to turn into a damn pretzel. So we have the clip of Don Lemon. Hold on as I pull that up because I told you this show is receipt heavy today. Because like I told you, a lot of these barbs like to come up here with they bullshit, and it's like when I come with receipts, y'all can't say a damn word. But anyway, let's go back. Let's play this clip, and we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
Me about responding to Nicki Minaj's unhinged homophobic tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff, but let me just say this. Nicki Minaj, stop talking about shit for which you know nothing about. This is out of your depth, by the way, and you are a homophobic bigot. You don't care about African Americans. You're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules. And the other thing is that your family members, you have one family member who is reportedly a sex offender, the other family member, your husband or whatever, a sex offender is your husband, and one of them is reportedly a pedophile. And you have nerve to talk about me and what you think that I do? Nicki Minaj, get a life. Stop being a pick-me. You should have put a pick-me doll on that damn tweet instead of a Chucky doll, because you are nothing but a pick-me. And I choose not to pick you. And so should black people, and so should gay people. Shouldn't buy your music. Clock that.
And one thing we got to also realize that we'll see if this people that she's trying to grift for are actually going to go and buy up her music. Because remember, didn't she say she's supposed to be coming out with an album in March? February is literally around the corner. Today is January 20th. So where the first single at? Why you not focusing on that? Why haven't you shot a music video for it? Why haven't you announced the track listing, album cover? Like, what's going on? Miley was good, since that's your favorite phrase. What's good was with the music. So you busy on social media pulling bullshit and trolling. And also, I want to point this out. So on today's Don Lemon show, he did have Charles from TMZ on there. And Charles mentioned that she did try to walk back a little bit of what she said by calling him a C-sucker. And this ain't the first gay man, forgot to point this out, that she called the C-sucker. She called Jason Lee the same thing. So when he was talking about her, I don't remember what it was. She's always in the news with some bullshit. So pick a story. And she came out and said, and basically called him that too. So at what point do we have the gay people that have come out that work in media? She's saying stuff about them and referring to them as cocksuckers. Like, come on now. We're going to sit up in here and continue to act obtuse? Okay. Well, I feel like you choose to be brain dead at this damn point. And I work on a whole nother plane, energy-wise and mental-wise. So if this ain't something that you can understand and compute with, scroll on to the next thing. So what Charles said was that she tried to walk back some of what she said and was like, she used certain words in what she said in the tweet to get a rise. So that way y'all could pay more attention to what's going on. But I'm like, if you can't intellectually make yourself be heard and try to articulate what you have to say without calling people derogatory names, and I know some people would be like, I'm being a hypocrite. There's a method to my madness when I'm articulating my words and I'm using profanity and shady comments. I'm a homosexual. That's how we talk. So you're gonna get all the bells and whistles and the all the extraness that goes with what I'm trying to say. But if you was listening, I said what the fuck I need to say in this whole situation. So that's bullshit. My thing is that you jumped online per usual, jumping in something you don't know what you're talking about, spewing misinformation, and now you got egg on your face. You did it when you said that your cousin wound up getting something with his balls or whatever, with COVID and whatever the fuck she said with that shit. And then you've been out here making derogatory things. You've said all kinds of nasty things from Little Kim on down to Megan Thee Stallion. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. She was at the Knicks game yesterday. Don't even get me started on how terrible that game was, but she was there because her man plays for the other team that was playing against the Knicks. So you said all kinds of crazy stuff with all the beefs and everything. At this point, you got to look at it as like, okay, you are the problem. Just like how Maury would say, you are not the father, or you are the father, you are the problem. She is the problem. You are the common denominator that's in the midst of all of this. So at what point do we stop applauding and accepting and thinking it's all cute or whatever with all the bad behavior that she likes to put out there? At what point do we take responsibility for the shits? But now I want to get into this other, because I told her it's going to be receipt heavy. Godfrey went in on her, and I was like, you want to know something? A lot of the stuff he said is true, because I've been saying that about a lot of you Negroes and a lot of you damn immigrants. If it was ever a point that we was all slaves today and we was all trying to make the escape, you be the bitch that run up in there and say, they trying to leave. She definitely gives me that. And I'm glad that Godfrey co-signed, because I got the clip. Hold on. So we can get into that. Please hold again.
What's going on? Black folks are so quick to sell each other out. We're so up. Black people, African, Caribbean, all of us. From colonialism, from sucking up to white folks, white supremacy. This is the results of this. all this Aunt Jemima shit you doing. You got these Aunt Jemima buck dancing ass Negroes will be in a heartbeat sell another black person out or dog them in person. It doesn't even connect right. Nicki's the type of person that if we were trying to escape from slavery, she'd be the first one to go like this. They're trying to leave. Can you believe that? They're trying to escape. See, here's the problem. You people keep showing up to her concerts. A lot of these celebrities that sell us out, you keep showing up to their concerts. You put money in their pocket. When you put money in people's pocket, that's when they act a goddamn fool. You understand? It's like going to one of those stores that disrespect black people. They disrespect you because you keep paying them. So if you stop paying her and show her as a group that we don't play that, it's all about money, guys. It's all about money. She must be getting some of her pedo relatives off of, I don't know, out of jail. I don't know. There's something like that that's happening. That's what people are saying. But I think that what Don, this video right now is just so great. And this is what Don is about. You come at him, he gonna come at you. Take a look.
Nicki Minaj should just sit the down. And by the way, isn't she married to an alleged pedophile? So Nicki Minaj, F off, stop being a homophobic bigot, and get a life and some brains.
I give a shout out to my brother Don Lemon. Ever since he left CNN, Don Lemon has been a force in journalism, activism, straight up. I'm telling you, I love the way Don is rolling now, man. And by the way, me and Don Lemon have the same barber. Shout out to my man Yusuf in New York City. Diamond Fades right there in New York in Manhattan. Anyway, so ever since I was helping him on his podcast when he was campaigning for Kamala Harris, it's been a pleasure to work with him. The Don Lemon Show, being a lemon head. I mean, me, Jolly Ginger, D.L. Hughley, Joy Reid. It's great to be amongst all these great, like, political minds and stuff. And yeah, man. And Don don't let anybody talk to him. Don will be on the street, try to punk him. He'd be like, no, you. How about that? And it's nice to hear Don go, you.
You're a moron, dude. Thank you. So are you.
You know what I'm saying? And, Don is a real journalist, Real journalist. CNN always tried to pull him in, tried to stop him from doing it. But to see Don go, hi, everybody, it's Don Lemon Show. It's fantastic. It warms my heart. He's my brother from another mother. And I'm going to tell you something. You guys got him. You see, Don, he's the gay dude with the nice little hair. He is from Louisiana. You don't these Southern folks, man. Southern folks got that thing in them. That meow in them. You know what I'm saying? Don will put the mojo on your ass. And Nicki Minaj coming at Don Lemon. You're reaching, Nicki. What is going on? Are you bipolar? Is it dementia? Is there a tumor on your brain? What is going on? Black folks are so quick to sell each other out. We're so up. Black people, African, Caribbean.
Okay, so the clip started repeating again. So yeah, I'm like, something got to be going on with her. Maybe she got brain rot after she had that child, because like they always say that. So a lot of time when you push out a baby, you push out every aspect of your body. So maybe her damn mind went bad too. But then again, that's no excuse, because her mind was gone bad long before she pushed out Papa Bear. So yeah, so he went and said what he said in regards to that. And it's like, yeah, y'all be sitting up here thinking that just because a lot of us are homosexuals, that y'all think that stereotype that we weak or whatever the case was. It's like, nah, I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I had to learn how to fight, because what you wasn't going to do is sit up here and punk me out. So y'all got us all the way fucked up in that whole situation. Now, last but certainly not least, let me check, because, oh, wait. Let's get into this D.L. Hughley video, courtesy of TMZ, where he went in on her as well. Please hold.
Today is a momentous day for a lot of reasons. We're celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Right. But the backdrop is what it is right now. Right. What do you think he would feel about this?
He would be disappointed in some of the things he was fighting for. He still is. And I think that ultimately, he oftentimes is used as a slogan, but nobody ever really embraces the true meaning of his message. The American president has said that he's not above using force to protect their rights. He's encouraged those people over there to be violent and to be destructive. while using he's willing to use the might and power of the United States military to to attack the government there for being oppressive, while using the power of the government here to squelch free speech. So it just seems hypocritical. I think ultimately it is more familiar than it is. This is not new. This is retro.
There was a whole scene that unfolded at this church.
Right.
You saw this, right? Nicki Minaj going after Don Lemon. You see this, like for reporting it.
It was so funny to me. People hate. It's so funny how many other writers hate. They hate transgender and gay people more than they do pedophiles. It's amazing to me. Nicki don't need to worry about Don. She need to be with damn Don Lemon, and Nicki Minaj need to be worried about Chris Hansen. She needs to be worried about. There are more illegal immigrants, if that is your cause, in Texas, in Florida, in Illinois, in Georgia, even in California. He is punishing those people. One, because the governor ran against him, and two, he just wants to be evil. This is a campaign against blue states and blue cities. Donald Trump has used America, and he's used them in Somalia, in Libya, in Venezuela, in Nigeria. He's also used American military in Los Angeles, in Minneapolis, in Chicago, and in DC.
All right, so y'all pretty much got what he had said about Nicki Minaj. Yeah, you need to be worrying more about Chris Hansen and less about Don Lemon. So there. Now, last but certainly not least, and then we can get up off this. This was a cackle. I don't know what's been going on with TikTok, but y'all been getting on my damn nerves. Apparently, I can't pause none of the videos and whatever and leave them where I'm at. I don't know why it's not allowing me to do it. But we're going to play this clip about her asking what her favorite Bible verse is from that old coon that work over there at Fox News. Because I remember seeing this old ginormous looking, giraffe looking bitch before that she talking to. And this is Nicki saying her favorite Bible verse is from Psalms 23. I didn't know there was a Sam. I could have sworn the name was Psalm, but okay. Because last time I checked, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West didn't name their child Sam. The child's name is Psalm. But according to her, that's what it's called. Let's play the clip and we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
A lady just asked Nicki Minaj what her favorite Bible verse was. Check out what Nicki said.
Do you have a favorite Bible verse?
Well, I would say the simple one that everyone knows, Psalms 23. It's short, but it is so visual and it gets to the point, and it calms you when you need to feel calm, and it also makes you feel protected when that's how you need to feel as well. My grandmother would make me say that prayer in Trinidad when I was just a toddler. I was probably like 4 years old. She would make all of the grandchildren in the house say that prayer. So till this day, it has a special meaning to me.
Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my...
Yeah, we don't need you to recite it. We know what it means. We saw that it was up there. But anyway, so it goes to show, like, tell me this broad don't know what the hell she talking about. Just like, I don't understand. This broad is an immigrant who knows nothing about Nigeria, has no credentials regarding anything to do with Christianity. This is all news to me that all of a sudden now she a Christian. She ain't never come out and said nothing like that. And let's also not forget how she was blackballed from the Grammys when she did that performance with the priests and all the other stuff. And the people was over there at the Grammys was so pissed off because she thought she was going to be the Black Madonna and try to do something controversial with that. Except the difference is Madonna actually is grew up Roman Catholic. Now she practices Kabbalah and all other stuff. But she came up Roman Catholic and started incorporating a lot of religious imagery into her music and in her performances because that is a wheelhouse that she plays in. That's a sandbox she plays in because she grew up in that just like I did, which is why I didn't mind about the religious imagery because I also was raised Roman Catholic. So I understood a lot of the symbolisms and things she was putting up in there and calling out Catholicism on its hypocrisy and always questioning organized religion, which they tell you not to do. And that was something I always did. So that's why as an artist, she always resonated with me. But Nicki, you was just trying to jump on something because you thought you was going to be controversial and you thought you could do the Madonna thing. But like Lil Nas X, y'all didn't think it through. And now look at y'all careers in the toilet. I didn't mean to hit Lil Nas with that stray, but sir, it just came up. So yeah, worry about your rapist brother. Worry about your convicted offender husband. and focus a little, figure out what you got going on within your life. Work on that. Work on your nasty, evil, dark spirit, and stop harassing people online, mocking people's deaths, mocking people like Megan Thee Stallion with her pow pow, talking about she want to be a victim like Rihanna. Yeah, those are all the things that she said over the years. So I think at this point I pretty much beat this woman down enough. Oh wait, I almost forgot. So I think all this stems from there's a reason why I feel like this is all happening all of a sudden. Because apparently, let's talk about this whole house situation where they was talking about that she about to lose that house. So apparently, according to reports, she has until later this week to pay that $503,000 lawsuit judgment or risk losing her $20 million California mansion. This Thursday, January 22nd, a Los Angeles Superior Court judge is expected to issue a final ruling on whether to force the sale of the rapper's $19.5 million mansion. The decision stems from a motion filed by Thomas Weidenmuller, who's a former security guard who's been trying to collect the $503,318 judgment for an assault he suffered at the hands of her bitch-ass husband, Kenneth Petty, in 2019. Now, despite Minaj's immense wealth, estimated at over $150 million, the judgment has remained unpaid for over a year. Now, Judge Cindy Panuco has signaled she is ready to take the extraordinary measure of auctioning the home to ensure Weidenmuller finally gets paid, saying, quote, "My tentative is to grant this," Judge Panuco stated during a preliminary hearing in November. With the final paperwork now likely in hand, Thursday's hearing could see the gavel come down on one of the most high-profile celebrity real estate seizures in recent history. Here I thought the real estate seizure was with Katy Perry and taking having that old man having to pay her. And it said the only thing that saved the home from being seized in late 2025 was a single piece of paper. During the November 24th hearing, Judge Panuco paused the forced sale solely to wait for a specific document from Bank of America. The court required an official statement detailing exactly the amount of equity Minaj holds on the property. They specifically needed proof of her payments on the home's $13.3 million mortgage. That document was due ahead of this week's January 22nd hearing. If the bank records confirm that Weidenmuller's legal team has argued, which is that Minaj has roughly $6 million in equity in the home, the judge has indicated she will sign the order, saying, quote, "It is regrettable that the extraordinary measure of forcing the sale of Minaj's dwelling is required," Weidenmuller's lawyers wrote in their filing. "But the result is entirely the product of their intransigence in not making payment." Now, let's get into how did we get here? The legal saga dates back to September 2019 concert in Frankfurt, Germany. Weidenmuller was working security and alleged that Kenneth Petty sucker punched him backstage during a dispute over a female security guard. The attack left Weidenmuller with a broken jaw that required multiple surgeries and the insertion of 5 metal plates. He sued the couple for battery and emotional distress. Well, yeah, if you putting your hands on somebody when you shouldn't be doing that, get your money. Pay me for my pain is what I say. Crucially, Minaj and Petty failed to respond to the lawsuit in time, resulting in a default judgment in Weidenmuller's favor in 2024. The court awarded him $503,318 to cover his medical bills and suffering. Rather than cutting a check, the debt has gone unsettled. This left Weidenmuller to pursue the nuclear option of seizing assets. His legal team argued that they tried levies and garnishments to no avail, which leaves the house as the only viable target. For industry observers, the situation is baffling. The debt owed, $503,000, is roughly 2.5% of the home's value at $20 million. If the judge orders the sale, the property could likely be auctioned off. Kind of like Kim Zolciak and Croy Bierman's mansion in Georgia. The proceeds will first go to pay off the mortgage leader, Bank of America, and then the homestead exemption, roughly $600K protected under California law, and finally Weidenmuller's judgment. Minaj would keep the remaining profit, but she would lose her primary residence in the process, saying, quote, "It makes zero financial sense to lose a customized 12,000 square foot estate over a $500,000 debt." a luxury real estate attorney cited. Usually a check is cut the minute a lien is threatened. The fact that it has reached this stage suggests either a breakdown in communication or a stubborn refusal to pay on principle. And knowing MAGA Minaj, it's the opposite. It's the latter. I was gonna say the opposite, the latter. So I definitely feel like it's pride, ego. She doesn't want to pay it, and she's doing it on principle. So I feel like what this needs to happen is like, yeah, you need to strong arm her and threaten that house, bitch, you about to lose your house, and if you don't go and pay what you owe. And I feel like it's going to literally come down to a last minute thing. They're going to make a deal. She's going to cut her check. He'll be happy. Probably won't even get the $503,000 that he's asking for. They'll probably end up getting less. And then, of course, you got to pay the attorneys and all that other stuff. So I believe she'll end up settling. It'd be the smart thing to do. Child, you don't want to be out here having to downsize or be homeless and you got to move somewhere else. And if y'all decide to leave California, then Kenneth got to register again. Otherwise, he'll end up either on probation, but I don't think they'll do that. The next time they'll probably throw his ass in jail. So they said that this is not just an investment party. It is Minaj's family home, which she purchased in December 2022, shortly after the birth of her son. The modern farmhouse sits on an acre of land in the exclusive Hidden Hills enclave, and she literally is neighbors with people like the Kardashians and Drake. It features 8 bedrooms, a resort-style saltwater pool, and a detached guest house. Minaj has frequently showcased her home on Instagram and often refers to it as Gag City headquarters. Well, whatever. Now, if the judge does rule in Miller's favor, the process won't be instant. Her team, Minaj's, will likely file an emergency appeal to halt the sale. However, the optics of a sheriff sale looming over a superstar's home are damaging enough. And I should also say that Minaj or her husband have not publicly commented on the hearing and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, let me just wrap this up because I'm done talking about this broad. But I just feel like I find it relatively hilarious that she got so much shit to talk about Don Lemon, but you was real quiet when Kaya just went in on your ass, as when she was going in on Tokyo Tony, and you got hit with that stray. Where she was up in here talking about, other stuff, and y'all was going in with y'all beef or whatever the case was. So it's funny how you've been real quiet when Kaya went in on you, but you got a whole lot of smoke for Don Lemon. Anyway, so I say all this to say, oh yeah, because I forgot to put this headline or whatever in it, because that was the next headline. So yeah, what do you guys think of this story? And also, I should also point out that, yeah, Don Lemon has spoken out against the whole Trump DOJ official threat because, they was out here saying, Harmeet Dillon, I think he's Indian. I can't with you colored pygmies. So yeah, he basically defended storming the Minneapolis church and shutting down the worship service, saying this is what the First Amendment is about, the freedom to protest. I'm sure people here don't like it, but protests are not comfortable. Now, I was going to say, yeah, absolutely. There's nothing comfortable about protesting. There's nothing chic about it. You use it to fight for our basic human rights that a lot of you government officials are trying to take away from us, while Democrats just sit on their hands and play the victim. So I say all this to say, I know this was a lot to unpack. This was definitely, if we're going to talk about something of this topic, it is multi-layered. So it is going to be a bit lengthy in regards of me breaking down what I need to break down. But I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think overall on this story on Nicki having another one of her damn crash outs on social media based on a situation in politics she knows nothing about, per usual? So whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. Oh wait, you said there was a follow-up? Hold on. I just saw the last post at the bottom. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I did see that thing where she said that she's glad they're angry. And that's why it plays into the situation I said before, that she thrives on the stuff. She's, like I said, like Trump, this is basically the comment. Like Trump, she's a damn chaos demon. There are people out there that thrive on chaos. So it seems Netflix closing on the studio deal they made in Jersey is a long time preparation for this deal to close next. Well, I do like the idea that they're building a studio out in Jersey. And they're starting to get into the podcast game. So who knows? Maybe artists will be going out there to do their podcasts and stuff at their New Jersey studio. Like I just heard Pete Davidson just signed on to do the Pete Davidson show, I guess, on Netflix. And you see that a Baptist church lunatic holding a judgment is coming sign trying to block the path of the monk. Saw that dumb shit too. That there was some black people that jumped on the line. I think Funky Dineva showed that on his show maybe like a week or two ago. There were some black people outside with some signs going in on these monks. Monks are peaceful. They minding their business. They marching for peace and all this other stuff. But y'all want to sit up here and try to act like that y'all religion is the only dominant. And that's why I said I hate religion. I hate people that get so caught up in that cult where it's like they feel like my belief is superior over everyone else's belief. And it's like, who died and made you this God that you worship? Nobody. I heard a believable theory that Nicki is siding with MAGA to collect allies when she sued. Please. It's like they got a chance of taking down Jay-Z. Who are these allies? You really think MAGA got power like that? They're going to take that man down? That man is from Marcy Projects. And you said when she sues Jay-Z title and his people for whatever, she ain't getting a dime. So if this is what she doing, I think maybe she sided with MAGA because, with all this stuff coming out, them trying to seize her house, and, the swatting and all that other stuff. It could be all those things. The Barbs admit that they might. Well, we already know that album ain't coming out. I never believed that it was coming out from the beginning. She was saying all that because Cardi B put a record out. And I'm like, this is her typical MO. She's done this before. Whenever somebody puts out music or whatever the case is, all of a sudden she got a new single that's coming out around the same time. She does it every time. And then when Cardi came out with her new album, I was like, watch her try to pull some stunt. And she did. She's so predictable. It will flop no matter when it's released, especially with a track dedicated. And then she's talking about this whole Charlie Kirk thing. Quiet as it's kept. These people out here running around, all of a sudden she's trying to bring it. And I've never seen somebody do this. I've never seen somebody who built a fan base, a loyal fan base like the LGBT community. Because everybody knows there's no loyal group than the gays. Especially when it comes to their divas, they'll stick with you to the end until you do something that pisses them off. And then it's like, well, fuck you, bitch. You on your own. Which is literally what's happening. Well, I've never known somebody who has built a group only to be like, F you to that very group that has been loyal and stuck by her for me. Because I'm sure y'all seen all the videos or whatever, the TikToks and many other videos where it be the punks that jump online and be talking about, I stood by her with this, and this. But this is too much. This is too much. And now they done moved on because they can't stick with it. So they've been sticking by her problematic ass through many of the things. But it took for her to say something derogatory towards the gays. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, no, that's just you going too far. And now you're trying to acquire or court, I should say, maybe both, MAGA, where they can't even name not one song. Because I had somebody jump in the comments and was like, oh, now I'm a fan. You can't even name a Nicki Minaj song. I just said that now I'm a fan. No, you don't just get to jump on a bandwagon because you have somebody that's saying all the things that you agree with. So now all of a sudden you're a fan of the artist because they're checking all the boxes that your dumb ass agrees with. Okay. I don't like fake ass bandwagon jumpers either. Because then I gotta call y'all out. Anything wrong? What you talking about? He said, what's wrong with these queens for queens? Sure, not you putting in 50 and DJ Envy's a fucking idiot. I never understood like you a Virgo and you the dumbest damn Virgo under the sun. Like I never understand. Like normally Virgos are highly intelligent. Not her, not him. I'm like, you dumb as a like, don't even get me started on the Breakfast Club. I can't stand none of them on that damn show. The only one I like is Lauren LaRosa. But I ain't watching a show just because she on there, because then I got to sit and try to curtail them other idiots that's up there. Why does Nicki Minaj have a $25 million home? Her behavior of late shows she don't have no friends. That's why I said she be up in there in them four walls, punching the air. Because who else she going to have a conversation with? The only way she can communicate with her son, he got to bang on the table. And the husband ain't doing nothing with her, but allegedly using up all her damn money. No smart ones anyway, so she needs all the expensive space to show off for who? Herself. Oh yeah, I did see that one. Ron Will said, "MAGA not." Of course they're not. We know they're not buying her music. They out here gaslighting her. So I'm like, you willing to turn your back on the very people that keep you with money in your pocket to try to court a new team of people who we all know is not going to support you in the end? Like, make that make sense. Whatever. I'm tired of talking about that damn broad. Let's move on to more mess. Let's talk about Brooklyn Beckham. So apparently Brooklyn out here spilling tea regarding his family, and it is getting pretty ugly because you know that there's been a lot of speculation in the media regarding Posh and Becks having an issue with Brooklyn. Even Romeo has come out and, or was it Cruz? I don't know. I can't tell all them damn kids apart. But one of the other sons, I think it was either Romeo or Cruz. Y'all go let me know in the comments. I don't have time to look it up, came out was like, well, he the one that blocked the whole family on social media because his mother went and liked something. So it's like you were kind of like, he says he wasn't getting involved in the public feuding and all this other mess. But Brooklyn, no shade, you were kind of contributing to it because when you go and we hear stories about you blocking people or all this other stuff, that's giving energy to the fact that all of us people that are in this media space are going to start speculating on a lot of stuff that's going on in your personal life. So after all the drama has been coming out from all the tabloids talking about the whatever's been going on in this situation, Brooklyn has spoken out and he's telling it all. And let me tell you something. When he went and revealed, I think he put out like 4 screenshots of 4 little things in his Instagram story. This is why I hate when y'all post stuff up and y'all put an Instagram story because y'all know when 24 hours is going to expire. Like that BS apology that Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang put up. When y'all start doing stuff in the Instagram stories, it kind of annoying. I'm like, if you standing on your business, stand on business. Put it in the thing on Instagram, make it a slideshow, put bells, whistles, music, everything. Like, make it a spectacle. If you want us into the conversation, you don't get to put it up in there and expire it in 24 hours. But that's just how I see it. So yeah, in a lengthy statement, shared via the IG stories, as I said, on Monday, which was yesterday, David and Victoria Beckham's eldest son made an effort to tell the truth about some of the lies that have been printed from his parents allegedly continue to go to the press about himself and his wife, Nicola Peltz. So yeah, he said that his parents have been trying to create this narrative for many years, and he's tired of them having the narrative. And so he had to come out and tell his side of the story. So let's get into it because this is pretty lengthy. He said, my parents have been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and it hasn't stopped. My mum, because he's English, my mum counseled making Nicola's dress in the evening, in the 11th hour, despite how excited he was to wear her design. Now, let me say something. Do Brooklyn got a British accent, or do he sound like he's from LA? Because you know how like sometimes when you be living in a different place, your accent kind of goes away. Like Rocco, he was born, ain't he American? But he got a British accent. And that's because he been living with his father for many years. But anyway, let's get back into the rest of the thing. So he basically said that his mother was supposed to make the dress for his wife in the 11th hour, and she decided at the last minute to cancel, which forced her, I guess, to find someone else to do it. And I think she ended up wearing Valentino. So weeks before our big day, my parents repeatedly pressured an attempt to bribe me into signing away the rights to my name, which would have affected me, my wife, and our future children. They were adamant on me signing before my wedding date because then the terms of the deal would be initiated. My holdout affected the payday, and they have never treated me the same since. During the wedding planning, my mom went so far as to call me evil because Nicola and I chose to include my nanny Sandra and Nicola's nanny at Nani, that's grandma, um, at our table because they both didn't have their husbands. Both of our parents had their own tables equally adjacent to ours. Or is Nani another term for nanny? It's funny how these kids are talking with such Hollywood terms. Like, well, I wanted to invite my nanny, and she had a problem with it. It's like, well, clearly, Victoria's busy spending up David's money to try to launch the Victoria Beckham fashion collection. Because quiet as it's kept, we all know that the real breadwinner of that house was David Beckham. It wasn't Posh. Like Posh was doing her thing with the Spice Girls, but because she got a slight higher octave vocal range than Jennifer Lopez. She had to find something else to kind of jump into, which was the fashion. Kind of like what Kai Cenat is trying to do at this point. People been clowning him. But I say, like, look, Kai, you do what you're doing. You can't just be out here streaming forever. You got to find other ways to flex your, your muscle or whatever the case is. So she went up doing that. And then they went on to say the rest of the following. He said, the night before our wedding, members of my family told me that Nicola was not blood and not family. Since the moment I started standing up for myself with my family, I've received endless attacks from my parents, both privately and publicly, that were sent to the press on their orders. Even my brothers were sent to attack me on social media before they ultimately blocked me out of nowhere this last summer. So remember, they were sitting there saying that Brooklyn was the one blocking family members. But he's like, no, my brothers blocked me. Then it also went on to say, my mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, which had been planned weeks in advance, to a romantic love song in front of our 500 wedding guests. Mark Anthony called me to the stage, speaking of Jennifer, called me to the stage, where in the schedule was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife, but instead my mom was waiting to dance with me instead. She danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone. I've never felt more uncomfortable and humiliated in my entire life. We wanted to renew our vows so we could create new memories of our wedding day and bring us joy and happiness. Well, that brings us joy and happiness, not anxiety and embarrassment. My wife has been consistently disrespected by my family, no matter how hard we've tried to come together as one. My mom has repeatedly invited women from my past into our lives in ways that were clearly intended to make us both uncomfortable. Despite this, we still traveled to London for my dad's birthday and were rejected for a week as we waited in our hotel room trying to plan quality time with him. He refused all of our attempts unless it was at his big birthday party with 100 guests and cameras at every corner. When he finally agreed to see me, it was under the condition that Nicola wasn't invited. It was a slap in the face. Later, when my family traveled to LA, they refused to see me at all. My family values public promotion and endorsements above. My family values public promotion, because there's no commas and things up in here, so now I'm reading it all crazy. My family values, let's start that again, values public promotion and endorsements above all else. Brand Beckham comes first. Family love is decided by how much you post on social media or how quickly you drop everything to show up and pose for a family photo op, even if it's at the expense of our professional obligations. We've gone out of our way for years to show up and support at every fashion show, every party, and every press activity to show our perfect family. But the one time my wife asked for my mom's support to save displaced dogs during the LA fires, she refused. So, he's at a point where, why is Siri going off? It was like, look, he said, I've been putting on this front for the longest. I'm tired of it. And I'm over having to be the bigger person. Like, I've been showing up. And then funny, we didn't even know that him and Nicola was out there for the birthday party, because the way the tabloids was talking was like, oh, well, David was having his 50th birthday party. All these celebrities showed up and everything, and Brooklyn refused to show up. That was the narrative that was put out there. And he stayed quiet on it. And now come to find out he's reporting. He's like, we were out there. We were trying to find the quality time that I wanted to spend my dad without all the smoke and mirrors, without the cameras, without all the attention. And I know people, because what was irritating me too was that I was reading some of the comments based on this story. And it goes to show that a lot of y'all was just going based off the headline and didn't read the damn article. And that's how it shows in a lot of the way y'all speak on social media, that y'all just go by what a headline says instead of actually diving deep in the thing. This is a sad situation. The fact that, you know what, it's like, yeah, yes, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Yes, he was born into wealth because of his celebrity parents, whatever the case is. Nicola, too. Her father is a billionaire. So she's got her own little trust fund money. And he basically loves her. And then there was a story that came out that before all of this, because, now all the sleuths are sleuthing and they starting to dig up things. They were basically saying that that David Beckham was like, oh, our children have to go off. I'm paraphrasing. Like, our children have to go and make mistakes in order for, I guess, them to learn whatever they learn. And then he goes and says that Posh would go and bring around his exes or whatever, because I guess what they're trying to do, they don't like Nicola for whatever reason. And they're trying to do whatever they can to sabotage his marriage because they don't like them two together. And what I'm wondering is it because the Pelts have way more money than the Beckhams? And what it is y'all trying to get in that space where David Beckham wants to be this big, mogul within the sports world, and he wants to be a billionaire and all this. But I'm like, if that's all y'all care about is money or whatever the case is, it's kind of sad. And I think what people also need to realize is this: you cannot treat your children like they were your employees. It's kind of like what Christina said to Joan Crawford. I'm not one of your fans. I'm your child in so many ways. So the way you sit up here running around trying to treat your kids like they're just like how you could treat your employees, do this, put this on, walk over there, stop at this red carpet. It's like, I'm not a freaking robot. I'm your kid. So love me like I'm your child. And yes, I was born with a silver spoon in my life, but this is not the life that I wanted. I want to be able to carve out my own individual situation. And at the end of the day, as parents, regardless if you got money or you don't have money. And I think that a lot of people can relate to what Brooklyn's going through because there's a lot of kids who pretty much shut themselves down and just go along to get along instead of having their own voice. And finally, he's letting his voice be heard. And people shouldn't have let the money thing be the thing. Well, it's not relatable. You can relate to the root of all of this. The only difference is, yes, he has way more money than a lot of us will probably ever see in our lifetime. I hope to see some kind of, get those type of riches or whatever. I wouldn't want to be a billionaire. Like, there's really no point of being a billionaire. I would like to be comfortable financially. So I can totally relate to him in this whole situation. And he should be able to tell his side of the story because it's like for the longest, my parents have had the narrative of being able to say whatever it is, and I've just stayed quiet because I'm all about protecting the image. But you've been out there feeding the people information. But guess what? There's been people that have come to Brooklyn's defense. So while you got people out here that's quick to just call him a spoiled brat or whatever, there are people that's coming out here corroborating his story. There was a man by the name of Stavros Agapiou, I think is how you say his name. I think he Greek, based off the way the name is. So he is the partner of British DJ Fat Tony, who performed at the wedding. He basically backed Brooklyn's claims. He put in an Instagram comment. He said, I was there and she did. He's telling the truth. Talking about dancing with her, Posh dancing with her child inappropriately. Then he went and deleted. See, this is what I always find funny. Y'all get rid of the evidence and nothing stays buried forever. We can always find a way to get it. So he went and basically deleted it and then changed the comment to good on him for finally speaking out. So it's like, the first response is always the best response. Because it was like, yeah, good on him for finally speaking his truth. And so he came out and said what he said. I was trying to see if there was any more to add before I get to this next thing. Oh, yeah, he also went and was like, he's been controlled by his parents most of his life. He said, I grew up with overwhelming anxiety. For the first time in my life since stepping away from my family, that anxiety has disappeared. I wake up every morning grateful for the life I chose, and I have found peace and relief. My wife and I do not want a life shaped by image, press, or manipulation. All we want is peace, privacy, and happiness for us and our future family. So, yeah, everybody doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Just because you got parents that are fame hungry and fame whores, whatever the case is, not everybody wants that for themselves. Not everybody want to be Northwest. Not everybody wants to be out here on camera, all this other stuff. Even Beyonce has figured out ways like, yeah, her kids be in the spotlight, but they don't make it like their whole situation. They make it work within what they want to work. Hopefully she don't end up with no kids in the same situation like the Beckhams. But for the most part, it's just like, this is just a sad situation. So I hope that he finds his peace. You want to know what this also reminded me of? Speaking of the Breakfast Club, I can't stand that damn show. But did y'all see that clip that's floating around with Iyanla where she was on there and she was talking about how she did not go to her daughter's funeral because of her grandson was going to show out and make it all about him. And she said, to protect my peace, and I already know, like, he looks at me like I will be a problem. So I decided to protect my peace not to go to the funeral. I went the day before and I had my mama. He said if she was going to be dead today, she was going to be dead tomorrow. So it didn't matter. And I know as harsh as that sounds, it's a reality. So she was like, I went and I had my moment with my child the day before. Now, if y'all want to go off and do all the repast, all the pomp and circumstance, all the other things that's going on with that, then you go ahead and do it. I'm not subjecting myself to the BS. And I feel like majority of us need to take that advice, is that we need to come to a point where we protect our peace, to not let other people sit up in here and screw up our situation. Because I've had to do that. And I'm twice Brooke, I almost forgot his damn name. I'm twice Brooklyn age. He's 25. I'm in my 40s. So I definitely felt like, and it took me to this point to find my peace and serenity and have to cut certain people, or there's certain family members I don't fuck with. My blood brother, I do not speak with him because he is a chaos demon and he's just full of anger and hate, whatever the case is. I can't acquire that energy within myself. So I had to cut him off. And especially with allegations that he's made against me and the family. And thank God a lot of people didn't believe it. But there's been allegations and lies and things that he has spun about me and told people, and I have relatives who don't speak to me for it. And I'm like, they can kiss my ass, because the point when my career blows or whatever case, don't all of a sudden remember Chris and they want to be friends or whatever. No, you have plenty of time to come and mend fences. Don't want to mend the fences now because my account is a little wider. So let's not do that. Keep that same energy. When you didn't see it for me before, I need you to not see it for me now. And so I feel like a lot of people need to follow that advice and just go out and protect their peace. But guess what? Now, we're about to get a little messier, because I do have this clip of David Beckham responding to the situation. But before we get to that, let's get into Wait, no. Actually, let's play the clip. And then we'll get into the mess regarding Brooklyn Beckham's another person that came to his defense, and I guess he got an ally on that side, a former assistant that worked for David that allegedly he was cheating on Victoria with. Oh, we got that clip. We got that stuff too. I told her this is a receipt pack show, and Chris is in a messier mood today. So we're going to play this clip courtesy of Sky News, because the Brits are messy. Shout out to y'all, because the Brits definitely are messy. We're going to play this clip, and then we're going to come back and talk. Please hold.
But I also want to bring you this. This is David Beckham, whose son Brooklyn's been speaking out about an alleged family rift. Paul Kelso's in Davos and caught up with David Beckham.
David, do you have a message for Brooklyn this morning? David, you disappointed family business is being aired in public?
Well, father, unlike son there, all silence from David Beckham in response to those questions from Paul Kelso, Sky's Paul Kelso, who tried to interact with the world-leading footballer, of course, following that social media Instagram stories, posts, allegations from his son Brooklyn about a family rift, saying he had no desire to try and heal the wounds, as he perceives them, between him and his parents.
See, I did not tell you. I said, Brooklyn, you messy. I mean, I'm Brooklyn. I'm good on Brooklyn for speaking out, but the British press, they worse than us. See, the American press, y'all would have kissed his ass, and y'all would have avoided asking the question. But if it was Andy Cohen, I bet you you would have asked David Beckham right there on the panel. Kind of like when we get to that conversation regarding oh my God, was it François Arnaud over there at Watch What Happens? Like, oh, we're gonna get into that story later on. But yeah, so now let's move on into this situation, because we got to bring up the alleged mistress who basically spoke out, David Beckham's alleged former mistress, who spoke out in regards of all of what has been currently going on in this whole beef. So I was like, hold on, let me pull it up, because I got to close out all these other windows. So Rebecca Loose, let loose, I said let her loose. And child, they would call you loose if you slept with a married man. Now, Rebecca Loose, widely known as being the personal assistant David Beckham embarked on an alleged extramarital affair with, has come out with, well, they didn't say alleged, but I'm sitting there like, was it proven fact that he cheated with this lady? I'll say alleged because I didn't do the research enough to know if this, if it actually came out. But I would not be surprised. David Beckham is a former athlete. You know, them athletes don't know how to keep it in their pants. And I don't care if I'm sitting out here stereotyping. So the personal assistant turned yoga teacher responded to a fan in her latest Instagram post who urged her to read the inspiring chef's statement, because, cooking with Brooklyn is what he calls his situation now, in which he accused David and Victoria Beckham of controlling him. saying, quote, "So happy he is standing up for himself and speaking publicly finally. I have felt so bad for his poor wife, knowing too well that what they can be like." Luce responded, referencing Brooklyn's wife, Nicola Peltz. The family also told Luce, 48, that they felt like Brooklyn is supporting everyone who knows the facade. And then she was say, "I know you are wonderful and happy and don't need validation, but I think you will feel a source of extra validation." Now, to another person who dubbed Brooklyn's statement a fascinating admission, she responded, "The truth always comes out." So, for those who are not familiar, back in 2004, Luce was disgraced with the public when she publicly claimed to have had an affair with David. At the time, the soccer player had relocated to Spain to play for Real Madrid, leaving his then wife of 4 years home in England with their young sons. Despite David, who's 50, and Victoria, who's 51, vehemently denying her claims, Luce has stood by her allegations since. As for Brooklyn, you already know he took the IG to tell his tale or whatever. But it's like he got the most unlikeliest of ally, and it is in a woman who allegedly went and slept with his damn daddy, coming out and say, "I know that probably is not, you know, a good thing to attach yourself." Like, damn, the lady who slept with your father is coming out and saying, "Yeah, I know how them people are. I was a personal assistant to her husband, so I know the kind of situation that's going on." But and it's sad that it's at this point, but I'm sure as we progress on with this, there'll be a lot more coming out from this situation. I believe that Victoria came out and said some shadiness against her son, but I'm like, it's just showing the cold, icy bitch that you actually are. And it just goes to show that overall image that she's had, where people always feel like she's very cold and not welcoming, whatever the case is. That's her in real life. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding all the latest on Brooklyn Beckham? Like I said before, I'm sure there's going to be more that's going to be coming out because this is still a fresh wound that has just been reopened. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more on this story because I've been following it. I just haven't really been talking about it a lot on the show because I just felt like it was just a little one and the same. And I didn't feel like it was just stuff on here worth mentioning. I didn't want to come on here and say, well, people are saying Brooklyn Beckham and his wife are this. It just felt like this petty child's play crap. But now that we got a little extra meat on the bone, now we can come up here and talk about it with some nuance. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. The Taylor Swift texts are out. I already know that was the latest story. I was like, I saw that before I started. There's gonna be tomorrow's topic. Blake Lively, you are done. You are done. You are done. So yeah, I saw that earlier, and I was like, I got way too many topics. I already, and this is like literally moments before I was about to go. I said, I can't add another story to the docket. So we'll save that for tomorrow's show. This whole thing with Taylor and Blake. But yeah, it reveals she lied and paid Blake to put those stories out, how they had a falling out. She wanted to ruin Just About Donnie, saying weak men deserve to be destroyed. Now the question remains, will this hurt Taylor Swift? Because y'all be out here thinking that she's Little Miss Prippy Princess, and she's a mean girl too. I've always smelled that about her. Let's just say she's too big to get canceled, but it proved why Blake didn't want the text out because now she's losing her trial. So Blake is going to say, of course she is. Already said from the beginning, this is a waste. Just About Donnie needs to be vindicated. Blake, you ain't shit. Your husband is trash. I was going to say another word, but I was like, I ain't going to go there. But it just goes to show at the end of the day, all y'all was all Team Blake, Team Blake, Team Blake. Now you got egg on your face. The Guardian said they failed Brooklyn Beckham because, God forbid, a celebrity kid wants to be an average Joe, not a socialite. They don't want money, rather work 9 to 5 and be a nine. Well, I can't see Brooklyn Beckham working a 9 to 5. Number one, he's the child of a celebrity, so him trying to work like a regular job, I can't see that happening because you got to worry about. I mean, I don't know if he probably travels with security. Like he's married to a woman who's part of a billionaire family, so I can't see him doing it. But if he's really serious about, because he was a photographer at one point, then he jumped into being a chef. If cooking is something you definitely want to jump into, really take it seriously. Jump on social media Do like as you was doing cooking with Brooklyn. It's like that's a cool name for a show. And I had a cousin named Brooklyn, by the way. Cooking with Brooklyn, do that, market it, do a little like put it on YouTube, whatever the case is. Cook up some interesting dishes, like go full Bobby Flay with it, and turn it into a thing. And who knows, maybe you could come up with an idea and possibly like host or judge a cooking show on the Food Network, whatever the case. Look, you can find a way to parlay this thing into your own thing. Some kills when you're famous, which is a no-no. Rocco Madonna's son wanted a taste of that life, and guess what? At 25, he hates it now and understands that his mom has the better life. Of course, so sometimes these kids got to learn on their own. And my thing is this: if you feel that your child has, like what David said, oh, you got to allow your kids to make mistakes, whatever the case. If that's referencing his marriage, his son's marriage, then I do feel like, well, if that's a mistake that you feel like he's making, then he's got to learn on his own. He's an adult. He's over 21. So if he's old enough to get married and marry the woman that he's with, and let him do that. My thing is, I just hope that if it is, and I'm just saying a big if it is proven that the Beckhams were right about Nicola and whatever is going on in the personal life with her and why they don't like her. If Brooklyn winds up on this hill by himself, does he have to come back? How's that whole thing gonna work with him coming back with his tail between his legs, like begging for his parents to forgive him and to take him back? Because it's like, well, how are you going to survive? So I just hope, I'm glad that he was able to kind of find his voice and really put himself out there and be like, you know what, my parents are just not. They're horrible people, and a lot of times people aren't. They don't have a choice of what family they were born into. And that's why, a lot of times in the homosexual community, we have the family we're born into, and then we have our chosen family where we build the family with the people that share common goals and love us for us, and not because there's ulterior motives or whatever the case is, or want to control. All right, y'all. So let's go from one family to another regarding drama, black sheeps, lawsuits, this, that, and the third. Let's talk about Paris Jackson. So this Paris Jackson thing with her going after the Jackson estate, it's getting a little messy because the judge, the state executors basically said that they are owed $115,000 in costs and attorney fees, I guess based off of this drama that's going on with Paris Jackson. So shout out to Entertainment Weekly for this story. So the attorneys of Michael Jackson's estate executors are seeking $115,000 in legal costs and fees amid their ongoing dispute with Paris Jackson over the King of Pop's estate. Attorneys for estate executors John McClain and John Branca filed documents in Los Angeles court last Friday that listed all of the costs and fees for their clients are owed in connection to their anti-slap motion. SLAPP. I'm like, who did they slap for real? Against Paris that was granted by a judge last November, People reports. In the filing, Branca and McClain's attorneys state that the new motion was created to account for the fees and costs incurred by the executives in connection with the anti-slap motion so that the court can determine the amount of the award per the outlet. They are entitled to reimbursement because their motion was granted. The documents state that Branca and McClain are seeking $93,924.63 in fees and $1,238.39 in costs specifically for their anti-slap motion, according to People. They also reportedly asking for additional legal costs and fees on top of that amount. Reps for Michael's estate did not return to, Entertainment Weekly's response, for a comment and all this other stuff. So the filing from Branca and McClain's attorneys comes just 2 months after LA referee Mitchell L. Beckloff granted their motion to strike down several portions of Paris's July petition on the grounds that it was composed entirely of the estate's own filings. The pair succeeded by through the use of California's anti-slap laws, which include protections against retaliatory legal action. Now, in a statement to Entertainment Weekly, a spokesperson for Paris suggests that this filing was just another way for Brink and McClain to take even more money from the Jacksons, saying, quote, "For months, Paris Jackson has worked to address what appears to be troubling discrepancies and financial irregularities in the administration of her father's estate." This is according to the spokesperson. "It's no surprise the executors and their lawyers are using every tool at their disposal to take even more money from the Jackson family to use it to line their own pockets. Paris remains undeterred and will continue fighting for transparency, accountability, and fairness for her family." Now, for those who are not aware, Paris is a beneficiary of the Jacksons' estate alongside her two brothers, Prince and Blanket. Well, we call him, his name is actually BG, or he goes by BG, because remember, it's Prince and Prince. The 27-year-old actress took legal action against Branca and McClain once again in November, alleging that the executors have been taking advantage of their roles as executors of the PYT. Oh, I was going to say, y'all really talking about Pretty Young? Yeah, they were referencing his song. The PYT singers estate in order to enrich themselves. Now, Branca and McClain conversely filed an October motion in which they claim that Paris has received $65 million in benefits from Jackson's estate over the years per People. The filing has revealed that Jackson was more than $500 million in debt when he died in June of 2009. So yeah, he died. They said he was in debt. They've been able to sell off a lot of his music catalog or whatever the case is, just so that way they can get things turned around. Where you have Michael Jackson the musical, we got the biopic that's supposed to be coming out in March, right? March or April? Like, damn, I totally forgot the movie's right around the corner. So we got the Michael movie coming out. We got the Michael musical on Broadway with the kid from On My Block is in it playing Michael. I forget the actor's name, but yeah, he's in it. And they've been kind of, letting people use his, they've been licensing his music, all this other stuff. They've been able to get Michael out of debt. But the fact of the matter is, if y'all can prove that she's been benefiting for all the wrong reasons, that you need to prove in court. So now they sit up here trying to squeeze more money out of the lemon. So at this point, I don't really know who to believe in this situation. But at the end of the day, I will say this. I will definitely keep myself abreast of this story as it develops. But I most certainly want to hear from you all. What do you guys think of this story regarding the latest on Paris Jackson and the Jackson estate, where they're going back and forth in regards of who's going to be paying who and all this other stuff? Child, I be saying, as much as I love money and the fact that I like being comfortable and not have to worry about being broke or whatever, money is the root of all damn evil, especially the way you people be acting with y'all greed. So yeah, I never want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. Madison Square Garden is more heavy packed. My two big arenas in Phoenix. I'll say this: January has 8 games and 6 concerts. The big venue in Glendale has only 15 events, from my understanding. Wait, what are we talking about with Madison Square Garden? I was like, what's going on with Madison Square Garden? Are you talking about it's heavy packed? Yeah, because yesterday for the Knicks game we had 19.5 thousand people. Our capacity is 20. And then what I forgot to did I get to that story when it was about I didn't get to it yet. We'll talk about it. Because there's more news on that Harry Styles situation. Sidebar, are you a big fan of Mitski? She put out a new single. I've never heard of who that is. Maybe I have heard of her, but I never really took the time to listen to music. For her upcoming album that I like, her new album Era seems to be visually inspired by Bjork's Post. Well, I'll definitely check that artist out. I like discovering new music. And so they refuse a lot of events, so the staff aren't full-time, but part-time. So they rather have the employees work part-time, hire security through an outside company, and have people work full-time somewhere else. Wait, did I miss something? Because you just started talking about Madison Square Garden, it's about a heavy pack. I'm like, wait, where did this whole conversation start from? And I was looking to see what was the whole catalyst of it, and I don't see it in here because it goes from David Beckham to this other stuff. Family wants to try. You said you're more working. My local venues rather have part time. Oh, you're talking about your local venues. like rather have part-time workers, so they refuse a lot of events. Oh no, please. The more events, the better for the garden, especially with a boss named like Jim Dolan. And look, they're ready. Damn, I forgot. Hold on, let me look it up because we got the email. Let me look at my MSG email because apparently, um, child, I already know I'm working the Shane Gillis thing. They sent me that email again. Um, don't tell me I deleted it. Oh no, we got it. So apparently they're building another sphere. Because we got one in Vegas. So they're, and I don't know if y'all heard about it. So yeah, they're building one in Maryland. They said Prince George County and the Peterson Companies. They're developing a new Spear venue at National Harbor, Maryland, a premier destination in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. But I was hearing that it's going to be a much smaller one. It's only going to have 6,000 seats capacity. That's not a lot. That's like slightly bigger than the theater. Like the theater at Madison Square Garden, we seat 3,000. That's capacity, and it's pretty nice size. That's where we usually do our roll calls too. But in the theater, because if 9 times out of 10 there's nothing really going on in there. But except when we have like Christmas events or whatever, or somebody wants to have like a small little show, whatever the case is. But so yeah, we have that, and then we also, so the Sphere with them doing 6,000 is like slightly like 3,000 more seats than it would in the theater. Sounds pretty cool. But yeah, that's crazy. I guess because you're not that, because being from New York, we're more of a metropolitan area. So you're saying like what they're working the local venues, they want to have part-time workers. Oh please. The way we could work, we could do full-time. You could do full-time if you want. We're like coming in and do events. We call it shaping. So it's like you could show up, and if there's days that we have events and you're not on, you could show up. And then if you happen to be there and they're short people, they will put you on for that shift. You could also make money that way. So it's always interesting things when it comes to, working at the garden. Is that I can't write paragraphs online. I know it's annoying. That you can't write a whole situation. They wanna have y'all out here typing like it's Twitter. Madonna and I, oh, you said happy Aquarius season, by the way, Madonna and I rising, Aquarius rising. Madonna. Oh yeah, speaking of which, um, maybe he'll watch this later. But let's give a special happy birthday to friend of the show, Sailor Mermaid. His birthday was yesterday. She's 45. No, I'm joking. She's in her 20s. But um, yeah, let's give a special shout out to a special happy birthday to Sailor Mermaid. His birthday was yesterday and all that good stuff. So there's that. All right, y'all. So let's get into the rest of the show. And let's talk about this drama surrounding Miss Jennifer Lopez. So apparently, what was it, last week? I can't remember because, child, I don't be watching these award shows be sending me. Like, I just feel like y'all lost the plot. It's a little too overproduced and crazy. But anyway, so apparently she was at the Golden Globes on the red carpet. There's this guy named Cole Walliser who's Canadian. He created this thing called the Glambot, which means like a lot of celebrities, they get on top of this thing or they stand in a position, they do like a little pose, and the camera kind of goes around and makes it look really cool, and it's like a slow-mo type situation. You see it a lot of times when you watch E! News and all this stuff when they be doing the red carpets. So a lot of celebrities have done it. Tiana Taylor's done it. Ariana Grande, anybody you name has been on that situation. And I saw there was like a little montage that was put together in regards to the whole Jennifer story that a lot of these celebrities went and jumped on, and they like Ariana Grande seen him. She immediately runs to him, gives him a hug, all excited. Talking about, oh, I did such a good one the last time. I don't know if I want to mess it up and do it again. So you see her little insecurity. It's so cute. And then you see Tiana say, hey, baby, how you doing? Kim, kiss, hug, all this other stuff. Jennifer Lopez show her big ass up, all kind of like being dismissive, cold, put her whole ass to him, and then she's ready to pose, and then there's that. So with all of that being said, a lot of people was running out here accusing her of being rude in regards to how she was, which of course y'all be ready to snap at this lady's heels in regards to, because there's always been this legendary thing that she don't like eye contact. And when I saw the video, I was trying to see if I could find it though. Hold on, because I was seeing if I could. Not. I hate y'all. So now I just came across this video of Discord Adams on TikTok where they were trying to show her mocking her walk. And she was like showing her walking into the pool with that horrible ass lurch walk that she does. But anyway, let me what did I say? Oh my god, I just drew a blank. Oh, J-Lo, Glambot. I'm trying to see if I can find it on TikTok. A good one from a good angle where oh yeah, I did find it. Hold on. So I found a good one. It's funny, I just did all this at the last second because there's context we gotta get with these videos. So that way y'all could just be like, okay, do you feel like that she was being shady? You acting kind of shady and calling me baby. Why the sudden change? Okay, is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so let's get to it.
Hi, my dear. Lovely to see you again. You look amazing. Yeah, right. I saw right there. Do we have an idea of a move? We're just going to give a little look or a pose, a little turn. Perfect, great. Camera's going to end right here. We're in a high push wrap. A high push is fine. High push is fine. So end right here. It's going to start at the top. 3, 2, 1, action. You go. Give us 1 second. All right, ready. And 3, 2, 1, action. Yeah, slayed it as usual. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Real quick, just a fashion photo.
She started. They were shady with that one. So yeah, there was a clip of that, and of course they were just like, okay, so she just gums up on a thing, she does the pose, she kind of just gives this cold thing, and then he goes and says, thank you, and then she kind of waves, don't even look at him, and just keeps it moving. So of course, with all that being said, everybody was running out here saying J-Lo was rude as ish, and it is what it is. So now let's get into the story. So Cole Walliser shared Lopez's Glambot session from the 2026 Golden Globe red carpet, which saw the Kiss of the Spider-Woman actress remain largely silent as she posed for the camera. And, he said all he said. Now, moments later, when the session was done, Lopez waved goodbye and Backlash began. One person said, my favorite part was when she didn't look at, speak to, or smile at you, actress Jamie French wrote under Walliser's post, while Pete commented, wait, who's Pete? So I'm like, did I miss something? Wait, the article don't say who Pete is. But anyway, they said, while Pete commented, you're so kind, people always look forward to interfacing with you. Not everybody is super friendly, though. Did she even say hello? Now, the filmmaker later clarified on an Instagram video that he didn't feel that she was rude at the moment and all the other stuff. And so I also have that clip. But I thought it was like something. Oh, wait, I did have that video. Hold on. Now, let me pull that up. Oh, excuse me. And then we're going to come back. And then we're going to talk. Please hold.
I do get asked all the time, who was the worst Glambot? Who was the meanest? Who was the rudest? And honestly, everybody on the internet needs to just calm down. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody how they should feel, but there was only one other person outside of J-Lo that was in that conversation, and that person was me. These are some things that I've actually wanted to say for a while, but there's never really been a chance to sort of like talk about the world at which the Glambots exist. But now, I guess, is a great time to talk about what it's like on the carpet. The first thing to know about doing Glambots is that Glambots are completely elective. Nobody's forcing you to do these things. If you want to do it, you can. If you're in a bad attitude, you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. So anybody that stops, I already like you because you're taking the time to do my thing. And this is generous of you because you don't have to do it. 2, red carpets are so insane. All of the celebs are like getting ushered to like, hey, do this thing, do this thing, do this thing. As you're walking in between stuff, people are screaming at you. It's just a really crazy environment. So when people land on the Glambot, like sometimes they don't know what they're walking up to. You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about like J-Lo here. I'm talking about a ton of celebrities in the past that sort of like land and they're like kind of like a little like, what's going on? It's just because it's just so crazy. The third thing, these celebrities, they're at work. They're there to do a thing, to promote their show, to be a guest, to be a presenter. They're working. So some people chatty at work, some people not so chatty at work. And it's not really my place to be like, oh, you should be a certain way. I'm just sort of like reacting in those moments and giving people the best chance to do their best Glambot that they can. So with that world set, I do get asked all the time, who was the worst Glambot? And honestly, I don't have an answer. I mean, literally, I've never felt that people were like rude to me in that moment. the world is just so crazy that like when people are distracted or like less chatty or like thinking about other stuff, I don't take it personally. And even with J-Lo, like I didn't take it personally. I didn't feel rude in that moment. I think there's a couple things that sort of like added to the fuel of this idea. One, like she's just down to business. The carpet was closed. She's ready to go inside. She knew what she was going to do. You know, she got into the position. And I think it was just like unfortunate that the position was, she was facing away from me. So I am talking to her. She is looking away, but she's getting ready for the move. And in the moment, I'm not like, hey, like turn around and look. Like I knew what she was doing. She was getting ready. I knew she was getting ready. I knew it was late. We were just like getting through it. That moment didn't feel rude. Another one people talk about is Cara Delevingne a couple years ago at the Oscars. And like people were like commenting like, oh, she's so rude. But like, I thought she was super sweet. I think the very start of the clip, she kind of like rolled her eyes and like walked up. I honestly didn't even see her roll the eyes in the edit. If I did, I would have cut it out. And again, I never felt that was rude. And anybody else, anybody's ever commented below, like, hey, this person's rude, I've never thought it. People obviously have been going ham, making their own posts, doing their own thing. And I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do, but I am here to just tell you my experience. Not only just J-Lo, anybody, you know what I mean? I've never felt anybody was like rude to me. I think people are at work, they're rushed, the world is crazy, and I never take it personal. I do want to thank all you guys for watching the content, for commenting, for having my back on things. I love all you guys. It's been so cool to see these Glambots grow over the years, and I'm just like so honored to bring you this cool content. Yeah, thanks for watching. Love you.
All right, so he basically told y'all what he said. And here's the thing. I can actually vouch for this because let me tell you something. Being on red carpets, and I've told y'all that when I've worked on red carpets and I've done, you know, I've been on the other side where Cole is, where you're directing celebrities and all this. It is hectic. There's a lot of stuff going on. You have a lot of people who are ushering celebrities in to get on a red carpet, to be able to spew whatever they want. Like, you got to stand here. You got to do this. Go talk to this person. Move over here. Do this. And you got to pose here. And there's probably like very little space. Like even when I've done the drag race red carpet things, hectic, crazy. Oh, you got all these photographers trying to jump in and get their shots, whatever the case is. Then you're being ushered over to these little, whatever, be it a Glambot or whatever type of gimmicky thing that's going on, and they want you to do this for this thing. And it's like, yeah, you're at work, and you have to realize it's overwhelming. You have a lot of people shouting at you. You have a lot of people demanding your attention, and it's like, it's a lot going on. So me on the other side, trying to compartmentalize and understand what's going on, I'll be having straight up headaches. I was like, where's the food and the drinks? Because I'm ready to get down to business. But when you up in there working and you're doing all this other stuff, it is chaotic. So I totally understand what Cole is saying. I know he's just so adorable, whatever, because he's Canadian. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, I mean, a lot of times you don't know if the celebrities is being rude in the moment. I mean, if that's what y'all took from it, then whatever. If that helps feed the narrative that Jennifer is a rude ass bitch, then you know it is what it is. You can't change your mind because you know you're gonna go in and give your whatever. But Selling Sunset personality Chriselle Stouse and beauty influencer Jaclyn Hill also weighed in on the clip in Wallace's comment saying, "Cole, you are wonderful," while Hill lamented, "You are such a sweetheart." Now here's the thing. I mean, yes, I understand you're working, whatever the case is, but even if you're working, whatever, and I understand it was like the carpet was closing, she was late, but is that my fault that her ass didn't show up on time? And now she's trying to rush to get inside? You could also be courteous, and if somebody's asked you this, like, hey, how are you? I mean, it doesn't hurt to be courteous, regardless of what time you coming in, you're being ushered around or whatever the case is. So, yes, on one hand, the carpets it's a lot going on. It's a lot. There's a lot of people trying to grab your attention, but also it doesn't hurt to at least, hey, how are you? And what's going, like, just show some kind of courtesy. Even when it's chaotic, I always find the time to be courteous to people because my mama raised me right. So if Guadalupe didn't teach you a couple of things to do with your manners, that's a thing that you got to deal with, sis. And I understand that Cole's going to come out and try to be more diplomatic about it because he has these opportunities. He gets to be on the red carpet with these celebrities, and he doesn't want to come across being like an a-hole where he's complaining about A-list celebrities, and then A-list, well, he out here complaining. I don't want him on the carpet or whatever, and it's going to cause opportunities of people not wanting to work with him. But if that's one person who want to deal with you and everybody else is vouching for you, then it is what it, because you already know when it comes to this business, a lot of people would rather just rock the boat and go with the flow and don't want to say that so-and-so is rude because they feel like it's going to affect their pockets at the end of the day, especially when you're finally able to get in the rooms with those people. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you feel that Jennifer was being rude AF to Cutie Cole? And that luscious hair of his. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. Is Posh going to write a happy 50th to Spice May Emma? We'll see. I probably would have treated him the same way if I had met him 5 times already. Meaning what? Cole? You were going to be cold to Cole? Thoughts on the Trixie Mattel remix? I haven't listened to it. I haven't listened to Hannaford's music, that 25th anniversary. I haven't listened to it. But yeah, I forgot that, yeah, she has the 25th anniversary version of J-Lo out. And Trixie Mattel has a remix on there. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, because people have run around with like the whole reputation thing, like I said, like it makes sense why people would immediately jump to that narrative because you have this reputation of being cold and you don't want people can't look at you and no eye contact. All that. Like we've heard all the stories. So can you blame people for automatically jumping to like, yeah, she was rude? But like I said, he's gonna be nice and you said, is it Leo behavior? Oh, please, they can be cold. Thank God I'm not a Leo. I'm a Virgo. But I know a lot of Leos. I got an aunt that's a Leo, a cousin that's, oh yeah, and they do definitely be getting these moves where they go from 0 to 100. I'm like, why all of a sudden the energy shift? I just asked you a question. My father gets like that, my aunt gets like that. And me and my cousin always be like, well, dad, who hurt y'all? Like, why all of a sudden you go from this situation and then you be up there like real quick? You go from 0 to 100 like a millisecond. For why? Who hurt you, sis? But yeah, child, I wouldn't be surprised. It probably is Leo behavior. All right, y'all. So now let's get into this story. I guess congratulations to Channing Tatum because his Magic Mike live stage show, which was doing gangbusters in Vegas, is about to make its way to New York City. So good on him on that. And I was saying, you know what, we need a couple more Vegas events. Look, I've been saying for the longest, we need Atlantic City or something or another to compete with Vegas. Now we have like the casino that's about to be built out there over there by Citi Field, formerly Shea Stadium, but Citi Field out in Flushing, Queens. So we have like a casino they're building and stuff out there. I was sitting there like, yeah, now that you have the casino, I'm sure they're gonna put like a theater in there. So who knows? We'll probably be seeing artists doing residencies out there, like a Mary J. Blige or a Hannaford, who knows? But they're about to bring the strip club to off-Broadway. So Magic Mike Live, the live stage show created and directed by Channing Tatum, adapted from his male exotic dancer film franchise, is heading to New York. The show will open this fall in a newly renovated multifunction and custom-built venue a block from Times Square. So first we heard Harry Styles is set to perform a prolonged residency at Madison Square Garden, which, yes, those are the word on the street. It's going, now the rumor is that it's going to be 20 dates added, not 15. Because before we do have a banner in the garden for Harry Styles where it says he got a banner for performing 15 consecutive nights at Madison Square Garden. Now they're trying to up the ante and move it to 20. So yeah, we have that. Now we're about to bring the strip club to Times Square. Once upon a time, they used to have strip clubs and pawn shops in Times Square, but now it's been Disney-fied. That was the old Times Square in the 80s and 90s, a little bit of the 2000s. But then after Y2K, then there was a shift. All the prostitutes ended up on the internet, in the internet cafes, and they got off the streets. Now, shirtless sources tell Page Six that the show, which has already raised the humidity levels in London and Las Vegas, will be at the one-time Copacabana building on 47th Street and 8th Avenue starting in October. They've been told that producers are tearing the interior apart as we speak at the cost of millions of dollars to make it an authentic strip club that will transform into a nightclub after the final curtain. Apparently, Tatum is planning to reveal the news tomorrow on the Today Show. Now, insiders say the actor may even take the stage himself for a very limited run. He's made cameos in the London version of the stage show, based on the movie that had sequels Magic Mike XXL and Magic Mike's Last Dance. I still haven't seen the last one. I heard it was bad. That was the one with Salma Hayek. I haven't seen it. It's been a long time coming. Tatum, who produced the movie based on his experience as a stripper in Florida, announced on social media in 2013 that the show was headed to Broadway. But a West End show written by Reed Carolyn, who penned the screenplay, opened first in 2018 and is still running now. The show is only making its way to New York some 13 years later, after Tatum's first said it was on its way. And technically, I should say it's all Broadway, but who cares? Because a lot of edgier fare has ended up on off Broadway. Like when I told you I saw Drag the Musical, which was Alaska's play. And Frankie Grande, I told you that's where he was there in the first row. Me and my friend was at a table by the stage. Frankie was front row in the seats. But and shout out to his fiance for hooking up, Alaska's fiance for hooking us up with the tickets. But yeah, so I like the fact that off Broadway is taking on more edgier fare. We do need to kind of make Broadway interesting and new, because all y'all doing is reviving things. Like we got fucking Beetlejuice the musical, and what was the other thing? Well, we actually got, funny enough, my parents is at a Broadway play now. They went to go see before it closes, Hell's Kitchen with the Alicia Keys play. That I also heard that Neo's in it. I'm like, I can't stand him. Why would y'all go see that infidel? Because he think he got a harem of women. Quiet as I don't believe he like women. But this is the facade he gonna put on. We just gonna go with it. But with this whole situation, I think it's a great idea. I think we need more edgier fare. The fact that they're using a nightclub to do this whole thing, I definitely think that a show like Magic Mike will thrive in New York City. And also, I think what'll actually help it, if Channing Tatum can grease up them old bones. I'm making fun because us in our 40s, yeah, we do feel the pain. We still got a little step to us. We still got a little energy, but I mean, we do be feeling it the next day. He just gonna have to ice them knees and get the masseuse. Gonna have to do their extra, getting in them joints with their fingers and things and they elbow. So yeah, he just gotta grease up the old, situation and get out there and perform. Because I think that'll definitely get butts and seats. And people here like Channing Tatum's going to do like a couple of shows, and that'll get butts and seats. And then they'll see how great it is, and then word of mouth, and then it'll make money. So I'm glad that Channing Tatum was smart. I was like, yeah, I don't have to act. I do movies every now and again, but that's not my sole income. I've been able to parlay a thing based off my life with Channing Tatum, with Magic Mike and the strip club thing, and turn that into a business. And that's smart because if I had a way to do that, trust me, I got some ideas. I'd definitely be using that as my source of income, where I ain't got to work hard to just stand in front of a camera 14 to 16-hour days for 3 months doing a movie when I don't have to. I could basically just make, have money coming in from taking an idea based on Magic Mike and parlaying that as money coming in for me. So good on him for doing that. Good on him for expanding this whole Magic Mike franchise. And who knows, maybe I'll take my butt down to this theater in the fall and check it out and see all, some sculpted men's in action. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Will you be going out to check out this off-Broadway version of Magic Mike when it hits New York in the fall of 2026? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Not yum. That's it. That's the comment. He said they changed the Shea Stadium to what's name? Citi Field. Oh, you didn't know that Shea Stadium was now called Citi Field? Yeah, it's called Citi Field now because it's owned by um what is it? It's owned by Citibank. That's why. Just like how, Madison Square Garden is sponsored by Chase. Everybody got sponsors now. Everything is owned by a damn bank. I don't know if you heard earlier, but we did wish you a happy birthday while we was on the show. Not trade Chris. And that's because I ain't do the hair. That's the only reason why the hat is on. But, you know. All right, y'all. So now let's get into some bisection news. And let's talk about Alexander Skarsgard, as we all, finally know him as Ascars. So he has a movie that's supposed to come out in February called Pillion, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. A friend of mine said he saw it and said it was good. That in the movie with Russell Tovey, where, damn, I forgot what's the name of it. Let me look it up because we had a conversation about it in the group chat. Because I was like, oh, I want to see that. Plain Clothes, where it was basically about a guy who is trying to trap guys cruising in public bathrooms. So this is like an undercover cop, and I think that Russell Tovey plays the guy that's cruising in the bathroom, and him and the cop kind of wind up having a thing. But anyway, there's this movie coming out called Pillion, which is about S&M. And it looks scandalous. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this movie. And I thought it was out, but I didn't know because I've been seeing like the advertisements and stuff in the movie whenever I go to the movies, but I didn't know when exactly when it comes out. So apparently it comes out sometime in February. And so with all this going on, because he's playing a queer character in the film, a lot of people out here are assuming that uh Alexander Skarsgård might be family, which no shade, I've kind of had that in the back of my mind. I do wonder if he was family, but let's get into the tea. So, since last fall, an errant comment Ascars made has fueled wild speculation about his sexuality, and speaking to Variety in a new cover story, the actor is clearing it up. At last year's Zurich Film Festival, Skarsgård, known for True Blood, Big Little Lies, and Succession, among other projects, was speaking about his new film Pillion. That movie, which comes out on February 6th, stars Skarsgård as the top in a not the top child, as the top in a gay BDSM relationship. Skarsgård spoke about what, if anything, from his own life he brought to the story. He said, quote, I found that in this case, it's not only relevant what my background is. I mean, I do have a kid, but what I've done in the past, who I've been with, men, women, he said at the time. To me, what was important was that this felt like an opportunity to tell the story about a subculture that hadn't been portrayed this way with so much authenticity. So with him saying in the past that he has hooked up with men and women, now people are saying, well, now he's bisexual. And I say this, why do people have to put a label on someone? We're not Campbell soup cans. We're not all this. I mean, I understand like why. I mean, if we want to talk about Andy Warhol and Campbell soup cans, we can. But why do people always feel like the only way to make themselves feel at ease about who you are as a person, they have to be able to put a label on you? So it's like, are you gay? Are you a lesbian? Are you bisexual? Are you trans? Are you this? Are you all these different identities? And it's like, I am me. Yes, I have a kid. Yes, I like having sex with men. I like having sex with women. But why do I have to put a label on it? And a lot of people don't want to go by a label. They're like, I'm just me. I'm just exploring all the different aspects of who I am. My career aspirations, sexual aspirations, and all the things in between. So now in this week's Variety cover story, the actor explains that he was simply trying to de-center his own personal experiences when describing the movie, and was not, as some social media widely speculated, coming out as bisexual. He said, when asked about the comments, that it resonated with my past. It was definitely not an intended statement. I don't know what I was talking about. Maybe it has to do with there's a lot of focus sometimes on me as an actor. Maybe it was trying to shift the focus more to the story and these characters and the importance of telling the story like this. Now, elsewhere in the interview, he discussed his gender bending and bondage themed fashion ensembles on red carpets promoting Pillion. He says, I never buy clothes. If you saw my closet, my wardrobe is very limited. I'm not a big consumer of fashion. I don't spend money on expensive brands. I really enjoy the creativity of it, but it's not like I'm out shopping for these outfits. I guess it's something I leaned into a bit more of late. Indeed, and as many fans are taking notice. And look, my thing is, it's playing dress up. I like the idea of, you know what, if I got to do a red carpet, whatever the case is, have the stylist put a cute little crazy outfit. Like if I want to get my Coleman Domingo bag on or whatever the case is, and I want to dress up a little bit. It's like, yeah, have the stylist come in and I go on the carpet and we play dress up because it's work. But in my real life, I'm a t-shirt and jeans type of dude, or I'm a t-shirt and sweatpants type of dude. I'm not coming out dressed up in Dolce and Gabbana and stuff walking down the street. It's like, who am I proving with that? Like, you see a lot of celebrities, particularly black celebrities, who want to run off and all these people that are just so caught up in the matrix of pomp and circumstance that I gotta be seen in this fabulous outfit or whatever that you only gonna wear one time. Me, it's like, if I'm gonna spend thousands of dollars on a piece or pieces, I'll wear that shit into the ground. If y'all try to read me online, it's like, please, y'all be doing the same thing. You gonna spend $3,000 on a shirt and wear it once? To use a dummy if you're gonna buy a $3,000 shirt only to wear it one time because you worried about people clowning you. You're gonna see me wear the hell out of that outfit. I'm not saying you're gonna see me wear it every day because you gotta wash it. Wasn't there a time that didn't Anderson Cooper say he don't wash his jeans? I don't know why that just popped in my head. I'm like, you nasty. So how you clean them? You take them to the cleaners or you just let them? Because I'm like, not you wearing the same pants for a couple of years and they smell like ass and you ain't put them in the wash machine. There got to be a way you clean them. But then but then on this part where they was talking about him with the sexuality thing, he said that it resonated with his past. It definitely was an intended statement. If you're sitting there saying that you related in this way of some sort of way because you were pulling things from your past to come into this thing, it's like, now it seems like you're trying to backpedal a little bit. But look, if you like guys, if you like girls, whatever the case, that's your business. Look, when we get to this conversation coming up about heated rivalry and how people are defending François and the whole situation with him and Connor's story and this recent thing with Andy Cohen, a lot of people, they was like, okay, they know you, if you sleeping with dudes or whatever the case is, okay, life goes on. We don't care. We're not gonna go and not support you because you fuck guys in real life. That's just that bullshit, that fear mongering that Hollywood keeps trying to, liberal Hollywood, because they ain't shit liberal about y'all. A lot of y'all act more conservative than y'all try to put on, and we see through the facade. So you doing all of this, it's just like, just live your life, do you. It is what it is. But everybody be so fixed. I don't know why in this country we're so fixated on who people sleep with. It's like, okay, so what if you sleep with men? Who cares? You ain't gonna get to fuck him, or vice versa. So, shout out to you. Wait, isn't that I was looking at the picture on the end. Isn't that Ryan Quanten that is kissing all up on Eric Northman? Child, that scene was scandalous. And shout out to, I love some True Blood. I also, sidebar, speaking of True Blood, I know he did say in a recent interview that he don't think that the show will come back or whatever because of like the way that the world is and all this other stuff now. But I was like, yeah, we don't really need True Blood to come back. True Blood was good for what it was at the time that it came out. I would like something as scandalous as True Blood to come back, but I don't know. The way that this country is acting, the way this industry is acting, y'all act like y'all scared of sex. Or just being free with however you want to be sexually. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think that Skarsgard might be family? I think he part of the community. But if you don't want to come out and say nothing, you don't have to. Just do it in whenever time you feel comfortable. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said you at work. Okay. Technically, you're not supposed to wash real denim. It was said you should get them dry. Well, that's why I hope at least he dry cleaning it. I ain't sanitizing. I was like, how the hell do you sanitize your clothes? I would just take it to the dry cleaner and let them deal with it. As they used to say. Mama used to say, take your time, young man. And Mama used to say, make you want to get on. Remember that song? Ain't Cooper old money. I'm not surprised he don't clean up. Quiet as it's kept. Not only the clothes, but just in general. No, I don't think True Blood should come back, especially since the actor who played Lafayette has passed away. Also, they did Tara so dirty. Oh, please do not even remind me of how they did Tara dirty. Like as the season progressed, it was pissing me off with some of the decisions they were making with some of the characters. We grew up in a tabloid culture, and it went online before online became popular. I remember the National Enquirer, Star, all of that stuff. Then, the blogosphere came in. That's when I came in, because like when Perez Hilton and Delisted and all of them was doing stuff, I was like, ooh. So I finally found a niche that I could fit in, and not have to worry about, well, yeah, now I got to try to fight to get a job over at Star Magazine or the National Enquirer and all these other places. I could just get into the whole blogging space. And that's when it started. And I've been doing it for almost 2 decades. All right, y'all. I hate when I come up with these double-digit numbers, because then I start thinking like, I feel old. I mean, not physically, but it's like, damn, time would just be flying. He let a femboy. Wait, what? Now he let a femboy lollipop it. Is that what we're gonna have to call the baloney wash now? Oh, we know you lollipopped it. Lollipop, lollipop, ooh, lollipop is an actor. People just can't leave it alone. Now that doesn't mean if he made eyes at me, I'm not been. I just keep it confidential of that. Yeah, because that's a tall ass man. Can you imagine? Would you just want Ascars, and you want to be tag teamed by him and Bill, and then say that, but you want Bill dressed up as Pennywise while he hitting it? Hit it from the back. Shout out to Kim Petras, because we was talking about her earlier. You said you seen some. Yeah, I'm definitely want to see it. Go to the theater and see it. Ain't no shame in my game. I'll go in the movies and see a homosexual film. Speaking of which, I'm gonna get tickets for the Quad this week, because a friend of mine was telling me that I think on Friday they do, and I'm so mad because I can't go. But I want to try to see it, and then I'm gonna let y'all know about it. Please do not tell me I deleted it. I think I did. Oh wait, no, I didn't. So Dean Johnson, who I didn't get to know, but I went to a lot of his events back in the day, like when he used to do parties at the Cock, and he also used to do stuff at CBGB's. There's a movie that's coming out called The Big Johnson, where it's talking about his rise in New York City in the club scene, and how he ended up dead, and all the mystery surrounding that. But apparently they're finally bringing the movie, because I didn't get to go a couple of months ago when they were doing the rounds of the Q&As and all other stuff for it. So they're doing another one on January 23rd, which is in 3 days at the Quad. And I got to go see this movie, because I'm meaning to get around to it and I can't, but I'm working, so I'm not going to be able to go. But then my friend DJ Tennessee, who's also in the thing and also is going to be a part of the Q&A, he hit me up and told me, and he was like, well, it's going to be at the Quad for a week. So even though I'm not going to be able to go and be a part of the situation and the Q&A and everything, and be able to support him as well as Daniel Nardicio and so many others that I know that are going to be there at the situation, I'm gonna go and see this movie and support, and then I'm gonna come back and let y'all know how it is. But yeah, it's basically a movie about an incredible artist doing it during an incredible time, and it's gonna be a Q&A with Murray Hill, Michael Musto, Daniel Nardicio, David, what's the last name? Ilku, DJ Tennessee, and Lola Rock and Rolla, who Lola is the one who directed the documentary. So there's gonna be a lot of people on that panel, and I would have liked to have been there to support my nightlife people, but a bitch gotta work. Yes, Pennywise. I say you don't want him there as, dressed as Pennywise. But that'd be Pennywise in the It movies or the TV show, because he had a whole different makeup situation. Let me start with these kooky crazy fetishes. But anyway, let's get back into the show. So we got about 4 more topics left, and then we're wrapping today's show. So before we get to our final 4, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash that notification bell, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. Now, without further ado, let's get into this messy story. So apparently, François Arnaud appeared on Watch What Happens Live, I think last night. I don't know. I don't watch the show, so I don't know when it was, but I'm assuming it was last night. He was on there alongside Mary J. Blige. And Andy Cohen, nosy ass, decided to ask François about the recent rumors surrounding him and Connor's story. And that's what he said. I wish I had the clip, but I don't want to mess with NBC. So When the host asked whether Arnaud is single these days, the heated rivalry star replied, and I quote, "None of your fucking business." I was like, I am living for that. I was like, the fact that somebody comes out, oh, I refuse to respond or confirm or deny whatever, isn't none of your fucking business. Gooped everybody, including Mary. So now they said the actor's fellow guest, Mary J. Blige, burst into laughter at the harsh response while Arnaud shrugged and stuck to his silence. He's like, like, it's given very much like Utica. Like, it is what it is. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. Now, Andy went and responded by saying, because, the fact that he was gooped and gagged for a good minute, he was like, it's not my business, but I've got to try, right, Mary? Now, he tried to pull her in it to, I guess, justify what he did. But no, sir, I'm sure you turned every shade of red, magenta, purple, every other color you could think of, because you got gooped when François said what he said. Now, many Instagram users praise Arnaud's sassy response to the Emmy winner, probing into his relationship. Andy has an Emmy? The fuck is world we living in? Anyway, probing into his relationship status on Monday. They said, you set those boundaries, one gushed, while another labeled the response, king behavior RuPaul would be so proud of. Well, child, we need to get some of these heated rivalry kids on RuPaul's Drag Race. I definitely want to see them on there as judges. Or maybe they could do it. I was going to say, maybe they could do a heated rivalry type of challenge. Like drag queen hockey players. Excuse me. A third netizen added, best answer ever. Let these newly super famous guys live their lives. Others, however, railed against rude Arnaud for speaking to oh, shut the fuck up. And to come with this one, how dare you? Easy. And I'll cuss your ass out too. That's how I would have came across. Now, Cohen's line of questioning came on the heels of Arnaud, who's 40, being linked to co-star Connor Storrie and facing intense online harassment over romance rumors. The duo was spotted at JFK Airport together last week. Storrie, notably, who stars on the hit Crave/HBO Max show alongside on-screen love interest Hudson Williams, who, sidebar, Hudson Williams was just spotted hanging out with Ricky Martin. Where's that same outrage? Y'all was up in here getting mad over the fact that François hanging out with a co-star, but y'all been real radio silent that somebody much older, Ricky Martin, who's in his mid-50s. Well, no. I think Ricky's like, early to mid-50s. Anyway, I don't know his guy that he in his 50s. I know he's younger than Hannaful. But he hanging out with Hudson Williams in his 20s. Where that same energy at? Y'all real quiet. Shut the fuck up. Y'all get my goddamn nerves with y'all fake ass outrage. So, but a lot of people be automatically assuming that a gay man can't hang out with another man without them fucking, which, surprise, we actually can. Now, Storrie notably, as y'all know, like I said, he's plays the love interest to Hudson Williams. Many fans are shipping that duo in real life instead. But then how many times we said on the show that Hudson allegedly is straight because, people was digging on his personal life and outed him as straight, saying he has a girlfriend, even though he's trying to keep that under wraps because they're trying to play up the whole thing because of how successful the show is. So they're playing up the whole thing like they were some, beyond the chemistry of what they actually have. I'm not saying the chemistry between them is fake, but there's definitely something there in regards to the situation. Now, the Borges alum told the Toronto Star over the weekend about his plans to move to a building with a doorman. That's where I've seen him from. I'm like, he was on the Borges? I used to watch that show. He acknowledged maybe a little bungalow with street access, not a gated property, not on a gated property, is not the best thing. Well, that's why I said my thing was get you in an apartment building, a nice building with a doorman, and then people try to come up on your property. Oh, they'll be kicked the F out. Arnaud said he also was in the process of unfollowing everyone on social media. So it's like when him somehow 1 minute you was riding a wave, it looked like you falling off that wave, sir. You better get back on it. Get on that surfboard. Surfboard. Granted on that wood. Granted off that wood. You better get on that shit and learn how to ride the wave. Because François look like he's struggling a little bit. Better plant them feet down. Get that core. Doing what to do. Squat a little bit. Try to ride that wave. Because don't let these trolls get to you. And these haters. And all the people talking about, oh, you was rude. And Andy is, he makes my teeth itch. And my ass itch. And I wash. And I brushed my teeth. I brushed my teeth before I came on this damn show. But he makes every aspect of my body itch and not in a good damn way. So I don't give a fuck. I'll talk to him how I feel. It's none of your fucking business. And if you don't like it, go play in traffic. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you feel that he was rude? I don't think he was. He got straight to the point. It's like, y'all all up in my damn business, and it's none of your damn business, or as he says, none of your fucking business who I'm fucking. Because you ain't fucking him, and you ain't fucking me either. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling extra shady today. He said, did you see that Mary J. Blige revealed she turned down Umbrella by Rihanna and was also offered Titanium? She did Titanium. I kid you not, there is a version of Titanium out there with Mary's voice on it. And somebody else wound up, I don't know, and then she ended up covering it. There was another song. Mary has covered, I've heard different versions of Sia songs that Mary has sung, and other people ended up singing them. It escapes me who it is. If there's people out there that know, definitely hit me up in the comments. But yeah, I remember I've heard a version of Mary singing Titanium. Umbrella I did not know about, but I could definitely hear Mary on that. Which ultimately went to Sia. The music industry never fails to fascinate. Yeah, trust and believe. I tell you, do some digging. There is a version of Titanium with Mary's voice on it. Because I was like, then I heard Sia say, I'm like, wait, what happened to the Mary version? There's another song that Mary sang too, that somebody ended up, it might have been Rihanna ended up covering it. Or ended up singing it. The other day I was listening to Who's That Chick by Rihanna. That song just came on as like part of a shuffle. It happens a lot with a lot of these artists. They sing a song and then wait. No, Mary said, I think what it was that Mary had did a version of. It's wait, let me look it up because it was Mary J. Blige. There was a David Guetta song. Yeah, I knew I was right. There was Titanium feature Mary J. Blige. If you look it up, the song exists. It's on YouTube. And then there was another song that she ended up doing. I can't remember. Maybe that was the only one. But I do remember I was like, yeah, that was the song. That's why I was like, I remember hearing that. Now, you said every time I see Andy, I feel like I need antioxidants on a shower. International celebrities are always going to crave privacy. I would move back to Montreal or New York, François, because you're never going to be left alone. Yeah, New York is best. If you want to live your life, bitch, move to New York. I mean, yeah, we'll know your tea, but we won't care enough to make it a big thing. But yeah, if you stay in LA, LA ain't it. I know you probably want to stay out there because of work and it's in the weather. But it's funny because I was watching this YouTube video from Ace Carter, and he was talking about that. He went out there to film content and then mentioned that he hooked up with a guy that pictures wasn't recent and had some nose candy on his nose and was on the bed, and there was a bad hookup. And then he hooked up with a bunch of other people while he was out there. But he was like, I think this is gonna be my last time coming out to LA, because he said outside the weather and everything. And then he wound up, funny enough, because I used to do the same thing when I lived in LA. You go to a 7-Eleven, you pick up little snacks and stuff here and there. I always maintain my weight, surprisingly, when I was in LA. There's pressure for you to keep your body a certain way. But what I did was I made a mission. I was like, if I could make it to the gym, the good thing about LA is you could do a lot of walking. So there's hiking, all this other stuff. So that's how I was able to maintain my figure. But if you need to grab something real quick, there was always a 7-Eleven around. And I lived in Silver Lake, so it was easy for me to just go pick up a little snack here and there and I'm Gucci. But yeah, Ace Carter said the same. He was like, I ain't come back. Like he hates LA. He was like, I'm a New Yorker. I love New York. I don't know if he was born and raised here, but he was just like, he loves New York. He likes being able to it's just a different type of vibe and a different type of energy here versus LA. LA is just too many flaky ass people, too much phoniness, too many fake asses. It's just a lot of bullshit that you want to. And my thing is like I'm so used to getting straight to the point about stuff I don't have time for the, oh yeah, well, let's hang out, and then you never do. I just can't. It's like a lot of people I've encountered they're just fake. He said Ricky better leave the straight boy alone. I feel like Hudson can end Ricky's career. Well, I don't know about that because Ricky like them OnlyFans girls. He said I'm so late. Well, yeah, because we got about how many more? We got about 3 more topics, and we done. So yeah, you late, but it was a lot. We talked about a lot on the show. OMG, I just heard that Titanium Mary J. Blige. She said, "You actually listened to it?" Well, I guess that's probably why they went with Sia. Sia can hit them notes. Unlike Mary's voice was. I mean, the chorus it was cute. No shade, but Sia, I like Sia's version better. Sidebar, cutie Joe Carey names Dopamine by Robin as his go-to runway. Not the go-to runway song. UT's being bi as well. Oh no. Joe Carey can sit on my face as well when he said he had a crush on both protagonists and Robin Hood. 3. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like singing the Cell Block Tango from Chicago. So François, oh, you talking about he had it coming? To assure him he had the right thing. He said the right thing, and okay, because it's like I'm not going to sit up here and be. This is not the time and the era to be demure and mindful. First of all, especially in this country, y'all voted for the most undemure and unmindful human being on the planet who fixates on being a rude piece of shit. And y'all mad over a celebrity gathering and getting Andy ass together? Fuck out of here with y'all fake outrage. I don't mind being shady when it's warranted. And it's definitely warranted when it comes to that nosy bitch. But anyway, I mean, I understand he's doing his job, but she thrives on being messy. All right, y'all. So now, speaking of heated rivalry, let's get into the Queerties because the Queerties announced who their, some of the nominees or whatever. And it's funny because yesterday I saw Jim Silvestri, shout out to him, who started. And I'm like, wait, does that mean he was announcing like winners and stuff and nightlife and something? I'm like, wait a minute. Did the Glam Awards happen yet? Cherry Jubilee's tired ass award show. And I was like, that shit's still around. So he was talking about all that, he was talking about that mess. But so yeah, the Queerties, who you know is based off of Queerty magazine, announced some of their nominees. And so let's get into some of them. So Heated Rivalry, Jonathan Bailey, Cynthia Erivo, Bella Ramsey, Renee Rapp, Coleman Domingo, Lady Gaga, Chapel Roan are among the nominees for the 14th annual Queerties. Wicked for Good, The Wedding Banquet, The History of Sound, and Kiss of the Spider Woman landed multiple film nods, while television standouts include The Last of Us, Hacks, The White Lotus, Severance, and Loot. The Queerties give voice to the Libidical Plus community, says Scott Gatz, CEO of Q Digital, Queerties' parent company. It's the pop culture award show where queer people honor the best of the best, voting for the talent and creatives who inspire to pave the way for the next generation of queer youth. Well, thank God it's not the Las Culturistas thing because they act like they got the finger on the pulse of pop culture, and all y'all are is annoying. Now, public voting opens on January 20th, which is today, and fans able to vote once per day in each category through February 17th. Winners will be revealed at the LA ceremony in March. This year's host and additional honorees will be announced in the coming weeks. Last year's Queerties which drew nearly 2 million votes, was hosted by Bob the Drag Queen. Now, speaking of Bob hosted the Glam Awards last night. I was like, y'all got coins to be able to book a Bob, the Drag Queen? I mean, don't get me wrong, Bob is from New York City nightlife, so it makes sense that she would still kind of be interlinking in that world in some sort of way, even though she has a much bigger career now. And we're going to get into that thing with her Monet later on in the show. But let's get into some of these nominees, which I thought their list of nominees was relatively interesting. So the Badass Award nomination is for Doechii, Jeff Hiller, Jonathan Bailey, Anya Nerve, Paige Buckers, I don't know who that is, Buchers or whatever, Renee Rapp, Ricky Martin, Tremel Tillman. I like Tremel Tillman, T.S. Madison, and Vivian Jenna Wilson. This is going to be a hard one because I like Doechii. Jonathan Bailey, yes, he's a cutie patootie. We live for On Your Nerve. We live for Renee Rapp, Ricky Martin, Tremel Tillman, T.S. Madison, and Vivian Jenna Wills. There's a lot to choose from there. So it'll be interesting to see who wins that. Now, drag royalty. We have Aja, Anania, Bosco, Bridget Bandit, Ginger Minge, Gloria Groove, or Groove, as she likes to say on her music, Hedda Lettuce, Icon, King Molasses, Eva Destruction, and Utica Queen. Then we have Future All-Star, Jewel Sparkles, Joella Ella, Corey King, Lady Camden, Lana Jarre, Lexi, Plasma, Sam Star, Susie Toot, and Widow Von Du. You know I live for some Widow Von Du. Now, Style Icon, Andrew Christian, who is officially retired, so if you don't get this award, then he's a one and done. Anthony Porowski, Brad Goreski. Sidebar, where the hell is Brad Goreski? He was not on Canada's Drag Race this season. Connor Ives, Jeremy Pope, Lux Pascal, who is the sister of Pedro, Nikki Campbell, Sarah Paulson, VJ Floresca, and Willie Chavaria. We don't need to go in some, but I want to just go to the interesting ones. Now they have Next Big Thing. Now you already know which one I'm going to pick for this one once I get through the nominees. American Horror Story Season 13. Then we have Cats, The Jellicle Ball, based on Cats by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Madonna, Confessions on a Dance Floor Part 2. Heartstopper Forever, which is on Netflix. Practical Magic 2, which is coming out later on this year from Warner Brothers. Red, White, and Royal Wedding. Then we have Scary Movie 6. Then we got the RuPaul's Drag Race movie, Stop That Train. Then we have The Comeback Season 3 and The Devil Wears Prada 2. Y'all already know which one I'm picking for that one. Then we have comedy movie. A Nice Indian Boy, Griffin in Summer, Pillion. I want to see that. Y'all already know because we just talked about Alexander Skarsgard. Queens of the Dead. She enjoyed that movie. That was a cat. That was a key. If y'all have Shudder, definitely check that movie out. Then we have Sorry Baby, The Parenting, The Queen of My Dreams, The Wedding Banquet, Twin List. I want to see that. I think that's supposed to be coming out on Hulu this week or soon. I had to check. And Noah's Ark, the movie. As much as I like Noah's Ark, that last movie was a chop. Let's see what else. We don't need to go through film performance, TV comedy. I don't really care. TV drama. This is always the same old TV performance. We have Bella Ramsey, The Last of Us, Benito Skiller, Overcompensating, Coleman Domingo, The Four Seasons, Aaron Doherty for Adolescence, Michaela J. Rodriguez for Loot, François Arnaud for Heated Rivalry, Miles Heiser for Boots, Owen Thiel for Adults, Pablo Alboran for Breathless, and Supriya Ganesh for The Pit. Now, reality TV, we have Back to the Frontier, never seen it, Below Deck, don't care. Dragula Titans, yes, definitely give it to them. I live for that show. The Great British Bake Off, which didn't one of the members of Heated Rivalry say they love that show, Hudson Williams? I think he said that he watches the Great British Bake Off. It was either him or Connor. I can't remember which one. House of Villains, Project Runway, hated last season, especially that bitch you chose to win. Survivor, The Boyfriend, Traitors, and The Ultimatum Queer Love. Reality TV star, they have Chriselle Stous from Selling Sunset, Amira Despain for Next Gen NYC, Ezra Souza from Dancing with the Stars, Fraser Olinder for Below Deck, Gabby Wendy for The Bachelorette, Mickles Pena for Southern Hospitality, Nani Gonzalez. Well, I do like Nani from The Challenge. Did she even marry that girl yet? The one that was on Big Brother, I forgot her name. Pari Kim for Love on the Spectrum. They got a show about people who are on autism that's looking for love, looking for love in all the wrong places. Then they said Tiffany New York Pollard out of New York. You know how long that show's been on? And she's been doing other stuff since. So I don't know why. Let's get into the music stuff because this is more interesting. Breakout musical artists: Adam Mack, Amari, Bentley Robles. I'm surprised they even know who Bentley Robles is. Kane Colto, C-Matt, Eli, Gigi Perez, Cat's Eye, Lola Young, and Rayno. Raynow, I think is how you say his name. Is that a Korean group? Because y'all be coming up with these weird names and they usually be part of K-pop. Now, music video: Lucy Dacus for Best Guest, G-Flip, Big Ol' Hammer, Kesha, Boy Crazy, Frankie Grande, Boys, David Archuleta, Creme Brulee. This one I always struggle on. Guitarra Cala de la Fuente, I think is how you say their name. Full-Time Poppy. Nemo, God's a Raver. Jim Ferraros, who y'all remember him from back in the first season of American Idol. Good Boy, Khalid, Out of Body, that album flopped. And Conan Gray, Vodka Cranberry. Anthem, Lady Gaga, Abracadabra. Slater, Beat Up Chanel's. Ben Platt, Diet Pepsi. Hunter X, Golden. Omar Rudberg, I'm Not a Boy. I like Omar. He's a cutie. Demi Lovato, she's had better songs off that album, but y'all pick fast. I would have picked that song where she talks about what was that, the Kiss song? You should have picked that song as the anthem. Disco Lines and Tanashi, No Broke Boys, Duran Bernard, Overqualified, Ash Nico, Sticky Fingers, and Chaperone the Subway. This is gonna be hard because while Abracadabra definitely is like the anthem of the year, Slater has been giving me my life with these songs. Her recent song Dance has been giving me Justice tease. If you know Justice in their production, is kind of following that. But I'm definitely loving what this girl's been giving this era so far. Hopefully they won't do her dirty like they did Kim Petras. But for the most part, I'm definitely living for the music that's been coming out. I love that Beat Up Chanel song. I don't care about Ben Platt. I'm not familiar with Hunter X. Omar Rudberg, he's cute. Demi Lovato, she has some cute songs off that new album, but that was a flop. Duran Bernard's definitely been giving me my life with the vocals and the beats and everything. And I've been loving Ash Nico's new album. So that's going to be a hard one. Then they got other ones with like podcast, TikToker, Insta follow, digital. Look, I'm not on none of these, so I don't care. But one of the ones that I did find funny, read, I guess book or whatever. So Kristen Kish, accidentally on purpose, Lucas Gage, I wrote this for attention, Tourmaline, Marsha, and a friend of mine by the name of Jorge Salalpa, who did a show, a streaming show on YouTube, I believe. Yeah, it was YouTube. It popped up on Prime Video. It's called Strange Love. Very explicit. If you want to see, like, if you're looking for something familiar with like Queer as Folk and Noah's Ark in that way, but it's with LA Latin friends or whatever the case is, definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. When I saw he was nominated, I actually messaged him and was like, congratulations on the nominee. He was like, what? Like, he didn't even know. So, Queerties, y'all need to do a better job when it comes to y'all nominations and let people know who y'all nominating. And Variety put the article together. So I literally messaged him. He didn't even know about it until I told him. And he was excited to hear it. But yeah, his Nidiaki Nidiaya book has been nominated. Then we have Parvati Shallow. Is she from The Traders? That Parvati? Nice Girls Don't Win. Dylan Mulvaney, who everybody is nipples and tits in a twist over the fact that Dylan has been recently cast in that play 6. So people are upset about that. I just heard that controversy. She got a book called Paper Doll. Allison Stoner, semi well adjusted despite literally everything. Then we got Cynthia Erivo, Simply More, Catherine Moaning, and Leisha Haley. The 2 girls from the L Word got a book. Catherine Moaning, Alicia Haley, So Gay for You, and Prabal Gurung, Walk Like a Girl. Well, I'm definitely going to be rooting for my friend Jorge, but I could definitely see them possibly giving it to Lucas Gage or maybe Cynthia Erivo because they want that colorist to show up. Yeah, she's said negative things about American Black folks, so that's why I'd still be windmilling on her with that shit. So, yeah, those are your nominees regarding the Queerties. So I just want to point those out, and I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story based off the nominees? Who would you be wanting to root for? And I wonder who they'll get to perform at this award show as well. I just like that we have some outside of GLAAD that's really showing representation for the queer community. I do kind of wish I would diversify your portfolio and incorporate more queer rappers into the mix because there's a lot of urban artists out there that are part of the community that should be getting recognized as well. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Kelly Clarkson's show was. Oh yeah, I did hear about that. Did she actually go? Did she actually announce that? Make the official announcement? Because I saw that Page Six reported on it, and Page Six been talking for months, revealing stuff about the Kelly Clarkson show. And quiet as it's kept, it needs to go. Like I don't understand her having a show, and I like Kelly. I don't understand Screaming for Hudson having a show. That show was a chop. And Drew Barrymore. Like there's certain people, y'all are not made for this whole talk show thing. But I guess if you want to play the game of being a part of linear corporate media style television, then yes, that is what they're going to be going for. It's a little more spicy over here in the YouTube space. So out of all those future all-stars, only Plasma and Sam Star give me actual winner teas. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I still haven't seen K-pop Demon Hunters. I like the new singles from Slater and very excited for her indie sleaze inspired record. She already did the girly Y2K 2000s with her subtitle mixtape and is now doing late 2000s blog house. That's why I say I love the fact that it is definitely given like Slater is truly has what it takes to be. She checks all the boxes of what it takes to be a legitimate pop star that walks the walk, that literally wants to do the things that comes with it. I'm not saying being a sellout, whatever the case is. She really is, to me, a true study, like someone who really studies music and studies pop music and understands all the ins and outs, the intricacies of being a pop artist. So that's why I'm actually looking forward to this era. To me, it feels the most authentic out of so many of these pop girlies that come out with stuff. So when people say about Madison Beer is ready for her to be a pop girl, or Addison Rae is this, it was like, please, you need to kind of diversify your portfolio, because a lot of you basic bitches out here with shows and commentary, y'all like these old basic broads. I like a little spice for my situation. She's also giving me a bit of early Kesha. Like even when I saw the video for Dance, it kind of gave me Kesha vibes. You say, well, apparently I lied because I still haven't seen it. Look, life has been getting away from me. I still haven't gotten around to watch it. Madonna and Kesha Boy crazy, but no nominees. Hello, and Jade is that girl, so I don't even understand how Jade wasn't even nominated. Like y'all lost the plot over there. Like, if you're gonna nominate some girl, and every song that Jade has released as a singer has been a bop. That album is a bop. I'm glad you knew who I was talking about. Too bad the Swiftologist ranked Slater as a he's an idiot, and he is a basic. He's a basic person who likes basic things. I mean, he likes Taylor Swift. What do you expect? So your mind and your mind can comprehend like real music. So and that's fine. We don't need him to come over here with us with the cool kids. You can stay over there and be basic with your chapstick. But anyway, because he puts a lot of it on them lips. All right, so now let's get into this next topic. And let's talk about Karamo, because Karamo is apparently going through it over there at with this whole queer eye thing. And I guess maybe at this point, because Queer Eye is coming to an end after 10 years, that he feels like I don't feel any obligation to fulfill any of the contracts of having to show up, put a smile on my face, excuse me, and pretend that everything is hunky dory with the cast. And it kind of got me wondering. I was like, with all this stuff that's coming out with Karamo and allegedly maybe that, he's dealing with a lot and stuff over there. I mean, he's kind of feeling like Bobby Burke. Because remember when Bobby Burke was talking about a lot of the problematic stuff that was going on with the show? So Karamo said, I'm tired of faking the funk. So Karamo Brown made a clear statement on Tuesday, January 20th, when he opted to skip multiple morning show interviews alongside his Queer Eye co-stars Anthony Porowski, Tan France, Jonathan Van Ness, and Jeremiah Brent. CBS morning anchor Gayle King first shared the news that Brown, 45, had pulled out of his appearance an hour before it aired, releasing a statement as to what led to his decision. Now, we have that clip, and then I got the other clip. Hold on, because the one thing I hate is that if you don't get to a clip long enough, it starts to refresh, and then you got to position every damn thing so that it all ends up working. So hold on, I got to fix everything now because I knew that was going to happen. We're gonna play this clip of him, well, with Gayle King first, and then we'll play the other clip where he was supposed to be on, I believe, NBC, and said something completely different. Please hold.
From the very first episode.
Oh, hold on. I done hit the. I
A
accidentally.
little more fabulous.
Oh.
Just trying to sit up in my chair a little straighter today. I really worked on my outfit
We all
today.
were like, what should we wear
I
to
know.
make sure that we're not?
They're
called out?
watching.
They're watching. Are my eyebrows good?
I know. My skin moisturizes. Experts in style, grooming, interior design, culture, food, and drink. They have transformed the lives of, quote, everyday heroes.
It's like, here they go. Y'all just can't take 5 minutes without being a gay damn stereotype. Anyway, let's get back to the clip.
Tomorrow, Netflix dropped Queer Eye's 10th and final season single tier. This time, they are making their mark on our nation's capital.
Queer Eye's never been about fixing people. It's about meeting them where they are.
For our final season, we are in the eye of the storm.
We are in D.C. because our country is in turmoil right now.
We stopped talking to one another. Everybody's got their brand of cynicism. Culture has shifted. What's appropriate is different. What isn't appropriate is very different. But the message has always been the same. It's always been about connecting with other people that we don't understand.
No, and connect they did. We're happy to say Tan Francis here, Jonathan Van Nice, Jeremiah Brent, Anthony Probosky join us now in the studio. And as you can see, we call it Fab Five, but one of the Fab Five is not here. We received word just in less than an hour ago that Karamo Brown is not going to be joining us today. He said in part, because I want to rip the Band-Aid off and just get it out of the way so we can really talk about the show. He sent a statement. He apologized for not attending this interview. He thanked the audience. He said in part, I hope everyone remembers to focus on and to protect their mental health, peace from people or a world who seek to destroy it, which is why I can't be there today. His assistant also says that he's worried about being bullied. So let's just address it and get it off the top. I was very sorry to hear this, that he apparently feels this way. What do any of you have to say? You're as surprised as we are. I assume that he wasn't here.
I think, yeah, surprise is a fair understatement. I will say our Queer Eye family, we've been doing this for almost a decade, which is pretty wild to believe. And families are complicated.
Yes.
And we're definitely not excluded from that. But I think two things can exist at the same time. And while that is definitely true, we're also here to showcase these incredible heroes that we have and really honor the legacy of this past decade of our lives and all these wonderful heroes that we've had the blessing of getting to meet and to have conversations with.
Can I just say one quick
Please,
thing?
Jeremiah,
Obviously,
yes.
I'm the new gal.
Yes. You're the
and
new gal.
I am
Yes.
the new gal.
Welcome.
Thank you. I just want to say, and I'm not going to get choked up. My experience in this group has been transformative. To see the way that they move through the world, the way that they have the way that they have taught me so much about life and friendship and love. I have felt safe and supported by the people up here. I've loved every second of this thing, and I am so excited that we get to do this and share this next season because the show really is just about highlighting the best of humanity.
Yes.
And that's really what it is, and nobody needs that more than this country right
That's a constant theme in the show, but I don't think we can negate how Karamo feels.
No.
Does anybody have anything to say to him specifically? Because I do want to get to the show in the 10 seasons, because I watched all the last season.
I would say one thing that I've been so honored to learn from Karamo in my time is that it's just like he said in that package, we have to meet people where they're at.
Yes.
And he has taught people to center what they need. And I'm actually really proud of him. Center what you need, do the things you need to do to take care of you. I'd be lying if I didn't feel like that sometimes.
Yes.
And so I think it's really beautiful. And I think we do need to center what's best for us sometimes. And my hat off to him for doing that today.
All right.
So we don't need to go through the whole thing because I'm not sitting here for 8 minutes to hear them talk about a show I don't watch. But I will say this, that I'm glad that Karamo has come out and been like, you know what, whatever issues he got going on in his life, he wants to center himself. He wants to put his peace of mind or whatever the case is before anything else. And I'm definitely curious to find out, like, what is the real tea of what's going on, like why. So now you've opened up a can of worms, and what's going to happen now is that we're going to have the sleuths out here sleuthing, and I got to start doing my digging to find out, okay, so has there been situations going on behind the scenes where you're not getting along with certain, because Anthony came out and said something, Jonathan came out and said, why do I think Tan is probably the one that was the issue? Because remember, at one point, Bobby Burke had an issue with Tan. Why do I think Tan might be the problem? Because them British girls, y'all be always trying to come out of pocket with certain things. So I would not be surprised if he was probably the reason with probably look like some of the things he says or whatever. I don't want to necessarily put it off on him, but I'm just thinking like you probably was the one out here that was getting up on the Karamo's situation. And Karamo was like, I've been playing nice because I'm glad I'm getting a cute little check, or whatever the case is, because of Netflix and the obligations. Now the shit is done. I don't have to sit up here and kiss y'all ass and kiki with you bitches if I don't have to anymore. I did the show. Yes, you need to make the show about the people that you were highlighting or whatever the case is, but I'm not out here trying to pretend anymore, especially in this climate where everybody doing what all the crazy shit that they doing. So I'm not going to play into it. So I totally understand. But let's get into this clip. So now the Today Show, Karamo actually sent a clip over there on why he's not there. So let's get into that clip and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
We received an email from Karamo's assistant this morning, which said in part, quote, Karamo has felt mentally and emotionally abused for years, and he's been advised by his therapist to protect himself and his peace by not attending. But he did send this video. Take a look.
Hey, Jenna and Chanel, congratulations on becoming the most amazing duo on daytime TV. I just want to say thank you to all the fans who supported us and rocked with us for 10 seasons. This new season is going to be amazing. You're going to love every minute of it. And just like the themes of this season, I'm modeling what I believe is most important, which I want to remind you all. Love yourselves and protect yourselves. That's why I'm here at home and not there. But continue to watch the show. The crew worked on it and did an amazing job. I want to shout out to the crew. I want to shout out to all the fans. I want to shout out to the executives from Netflix. Thank you for having me for 10 seasons.
We received an email from Karamo's assistant this morning, which said in part, quote, Karamo has felt mentally and emotionally abused for years, and he's been advised by his therapist to protect himself and his peace by not attending. But he did send this video. Take a look.
Hey, Jenna and Chanel, congrats.
All right, so I just wanted to give it a second to pause it there. We can leave it on Karamo. It's just me. Why it look like Karamo might be a little swollen? Like, I don't know if you put on weight or you doing fillers, but I'm sorry, black don't crack. Now, the one that could use some fillers was Jeremiah, because I was looking at his age when I was when they focused on him. Child, why he look exhausted? Because he look like, oh yeah, they put him through the ringer. He only get 2 hours a day of sleep. That boy was born November 24th, 1984. That makes him 41 years old. Child, why are you aging like rotten milk? And I used to think Jeremiah was a cutie back in the day. Back when I first came across Jeremiah was when he replaced Brad Goretzky over on the Rachel Zoe show. Remember when she had the Rachel Zoe? Look, I'm taking y'all back. Back when he was on the Rachel Zoe project, he was the new assistant. When Brad left, because Brad, I guess, was feeling, in the words of my girl Mylene de Verga, his goats. So he wound up going over trying to do his own thing, and he doing what he doing, because we don't know what happened with Canada's drag race. But he's out here doing his thing, whatever the case was. And now Karamo said he's been emotionally abused and all this other stuff for years. And I'm sitting there like, well, child, I need you to start naming names, because now we all going to be up in your business, because now you made it our business. And now this is what has got me wondering. Do y'all think, because it still ain't going to get me to move the needle no way, do y'all think that with all of this pricing, all this coming out now and everything, that it's going to get y'all to want to watch Queer Eye just to see if there was any kind of awkwardness or shift in tone or whatever the case is in this situation? I don't, look, no shade, I don't feel it's going to change my outlook on it regardless, because I could care less about a bunch of gay people coming and being stereotypes and trying to make straight lives better. I don't care. We need more commentary or shows on TV that is a representation of our community. Not you trying to do we're here instead of drag queens. You got homosexuals out here trying to make straight lives matter. So I'm not interested in that. But in the comments, one person said the toxicity behind the scenes on that show, we need a documentary one day. Holly Robinson P came was like, said, what I miss. Oh, she being messy. Now another person said, anyone notice how he I was like, the hell was that? I'm probably not into something. Then another person said, anyone notice how he thanked everyone but the other 4 members of Queer Eye, side eye. And then they posted that legendary picture of Nene painting and giving the side eye look. Another person said, honestly, he always seems unwell. Ooh. Let me find out Karamo going through some things. Well, look, if he mentally stable enough to do that Maury-esque talk show over there on WP on Pixel, then he mentally well enough to do allegedly the Queer Eye. But sometimes you homosexuals, y'all can be emotionally draining and mentally draining. So another person said that was a whole subliminal conversation. He said a lot without saying it. Well, that's typically Karamo. He always says a whole lot without saying anything. One person said, I had a horrible supervisor, and my doctor sent a letter and said if my supervisor wasn't changed immediately, she would put me on 3 to 6 months bed rest because my blood pressure was at stroke level. She also wrote that she recommended that I seek legal counsel within 48 hours, assigned to the best supervisor I've had my entire working career. Protect your peace. So, and I think right now my sister's going through some mess with her current job. Now she's moving into nursing, whatever. But with her current job where she works and, the Board of Education, she's dealing with toxic ass bosses and is now on a month sabbatical because she's like, I had an anxiety attack or whatever the case. So she's going through her mess too, dealing with toxic ass bosses. And yeah, if your boss is gonna be doing whatever, call their ass out. But I just hope that, you know what, with this show ending, let's not take the more diplomatic Hollywood approach. If Karamo ain't gonna come out with the tea, all I'll say is us sleuths will be paying attention and doing a little digging and finding out. So yeah, because remember, we also talked about what it was about, Bobby Burke, where he announced his exit from Queer Eye after 8 seasons. And during a 2024 interview with Vanity Fair, he discussed some of the drama within the Fab Five. Said, Tan and I had a moment, he said, of France at the time. There was a situation, and that's between Tan and I, and it has nothing to do with the show. It was something personal that had been brewing and nothing romantic, just to clarify that. Should I have unfollowed Tan? No. Maybe I should have just muted him. But that day, I was angry, and that's the end of it. We became like siblings, and siblings are always going to fight. Yeah, because remember at one point there was they were promoting Queer Eye, and he tagged Tan in I think on an Instagram chat page he barely uses. And then but wait a minute, if y'all supposed to be close friends, if y'all supposed to be good Judies, why you don't use the regular one they would use? And he's like, well, then it came out he blocked them. So I blame Tan until we find out otherwise. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I will definitely keep abreast of this homosexual drama as it continues to unfold, because this show is juicy. And now you got me invested, even though I don't care about the show, but I like Karamo. I know him personally, but I've been aware of Karamo since he was on The Real World. So I've been following his career ever since. And, with 2 people now talking about the toxicity behind the scenes at Queer Eye, it's definitely piqued my nosy ass interest. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. He said, I've been a fan of Little Mix, but British girl groups are better than the US girl groups except TLC. Well, I did like Destiny's Child. So, some of the girl groups, but I like my girl groups with a little edge. I've never watched the show, but I was irked by Jeremiah Brent's typical YT male response. It undermines. Oh, yeah. Well, I would have to say, everybody in this show has been so kind. Like, bitch, we ain't asked you. Who gives a fuck? Had you been kind? And of course, you the newbie. So of course you're gonna come in. You don't know, you don't have any dog in this fight. So, but I do actually agree with you that it does undermine his feelings in regards to this. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Go, what's his man name? Go eat Nate Burke's ass. Go do that. And then fold his linens afterwards. He said, but Karamo is from the start of Karamo's feelings when Jeremiah is the newbie, but Karamo is from the absolutely. So there's history there. 2 seconds of hearing Anthony speak, and I too can't stand the fit. They all sound phony. I can't wait till they all go away and they wind up. We don't have to worry about them on our damn TV screen. I hate how they give platforms to the most annoying rhymes with maggots under the sun. Them Las Culturitas bitches and these 4. I want Anthony to be my husband so bad. I don't care. Well, he got a man and posted all kinds of pictures on their 1-year anniversary on social media. And I'm like, just like the last relationship, y'all gonna break up. And that's because you love posting stuff about, these little historical moments with your relationships. And then next thing you know, we hear y'all broke up. I was like, would y'all stop doing that? Be like François and Connor. Pretend y'all not fucking. And you said Gayle King is looking to sue Burry. You spelled it wrong. It's Bury because she's burying her career. But and news over wanting to fire her because they can't afford her. Please, but they got money to be. Don't even get me started on glasses and the fact that she was acting like a groupie for Donald Trump recently. I already told you they losing money over there at Paramount since the Ellisons end up getting their little stained funky hands on it. McCain, I'm best friends with Oprah. If you want to play chess, I'll win. Oh, it's my nutmeg. You said, Barry, I'm more powerful than you. Your best friend is Meghan McCain. Wait, who's best friends with Nutmeg McCain? Nutmeg. Oh, you talking about Barry Weiss's? Please. Well, Not that got a lot of friends with glasses. Huh, S.E. Cup. Not that that's why I'm here at home and not there with that big ass smile. Okay? I'm just elated to see people honoring a black man's mental health. That means a lot in this world. And yes, babe, it looks like filler, but working around white people. Oh yeah, you know what? Look, you see how old Jeremiah Brent look at 41, and he only been doing that show for 2 seasons. Burgers is 6. Hold on. Now I gotta look that up. He's 54. You tried it. So he is a lot, well, he look 15 years older. No, he's not a Virgo. September 17th. Yeah, I cannot. We don't claim her though. But yeah. He got a man like 41, 54. It's cute or whatever. Nate Burgers look good though. Well, I haven't seen him recently. But remember when Nate Burgers was like the big thing that Oprah was propping up? At least it was one person she propped up on that show that wasn't problematic. Well, 2 people. Him and Iyanla. I still ain't forgive her for giving us Dr. Oz and Phil. I miss Bobby. He seemed like the only true, authentic one. Has anybody been watching any of the stuff he's been doing on, what is he on, HDTV, one of them channels? They be recommending the girls getting fillers just jumping into junior high school. They were probably getting on his nerves with the racial shade. Yeah, because when you the token black on the show, it's like, why always got to be one black person amongst all the sea of whites? I remember karaoke. Oh, you said Karamo from the Real World Philly when he was ashamed to be and didn't like white people. Now that's all he can't. Now he hunching all of them. I tell you, when you get to cross over a certain plateau in the industry, all of a sudden they like white men. Well, you didn't before. That's why I think a lot of times when it comes to these interracial relationships, a lot of people side eye them. Like, I don't mind interracial. Look, I'm a product of an interracial relationship, but I don't sit and throw my own people under the bus just so that way I can make other people feel better. You ain't never gonna see me do that. All right, y'all. So now let's get into our final topic. And let's talk about Bob the Drag Queen and Monet exchange. So the word on the street is apparently these two might be, the girls are fighting. It might be a real life sibling rivalry between sibling rivalry hosts, Bob the Drag Queen and Monet exchange. And it may all have to do with Ginger Minge. So let's get into the tea. So it looks like Bob and Monet are in the midst of an increasingly bitter feud, but we're not convinced, and many others aren't either. It all stems from the recent drama surrounding RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 10 winner, Ginger Minge. Her win has been nothing if not controversial, and in the time since, Ginger found herself the subject of more allegations. At the end of last year, Ginger was called out for supposedly contradicting herself when it came to how she was approached about doing All-Stars 10, as well as over comments she made about who in the cast supported her. And then, that all led to numerous girls coming for her. When you had Georgia's going in on her on social media, you had who else? Aja, a lot of girls that was on All Stars 10. Then recently at Roscoe's, which I gotta watch the new one by the way, with Carson Kressley. And who's the other? Oh, the girl that was eliminated, Mandy Mango, which I don't think I'll be sidebar. I don't think I'll be doing reviews of Drag Race anymore. If it's a real good episode that's worth talking about, I'll do it. But this season so far has been a chop. I've been kind of disappointed. The contradictory of the judges and the way they judge people, like coming out to find out there was about Mandy with the Amish chick and ripping open her top and rubbing her boobs on the thing and churning the butter, and they was criticizing her open. Oh, you need to be more to me. You didn't need to be doing all that. And it was like. But then it was revealed, the real gag was, it was in the script that she was supposed to do that. So I'm following the script, and now you coming at me with this thing saying I'm not supposed to be doing this, and now I'm getting eliminated. She was in the bottom 3 times. The narrative between Briar Blush and Athena, that whole drama is going on. So they want to keep that going. Then we're going to find out Mia and Briar is going to get into it on a fight they had off camera that wasn't filmed. There's been a lot of weird stuff. I was going to say shady, But that's why I did the for extended period of time. But then I changed it. But anyway, so there's been like some weird inconsistencies going on. The way they're editing the show, it's just been weird. And it's like, how you bringing up stuff that was on camera that we didn't see? Did y'all film it and you trying to save it for next week? Like, I don't understand who's editing the show now, but it's a job. So I'm not liking what the direction they're taking the show this season. Feel a little contrived and fake, kind of like this feud between Monet and Bob, which I guess was the point I was trying to get to. But I always go on my little side tangents, but I always find a way to bring it around. So yeah, and then there was that, and then we also had Roxy Andrews came out last week. And then it was a thing where she got on Ginger where she was saying like, oh, I stood beside her holding her hand in Miss Continental. She's like, girl, you was in the top 12. You wasn't even in the top like 5 girls that was up there on the stage or top 6, how many that was up there standing beside me. And first, you're 5'2", or on a good day. Roxy is 6 foot. And she is tall because I've interviewed her back when she was on her season of Drag Race at XL, which is no longer around. That was in New York City when they had like the we had the finale thing there. So Roxy is tall in real life. So during her press tour, Ginger stopped by Monet's YouTube series, as y'all know, Monet Talks, in which the two drag queens got into some of the drama. One thing they touched on was apparently one-sided beef between Ginger and Bob the drag queen. Then this prompted Bob to respond in her own video, which was called Bob the Drag Queen Responds to Ginger Minj's Press Tour. Now, in the video, Bob claimed not to be the liar and repeatedly called out Monet, her close friend and sibling Rivalry co-host, for lying and being a fake-ass bitch. Now, as a result, and I just saw this yesterday. No, actually, today I watched it. She posted it yesterday, but I saw it today. She did her own reaction video to Bob's reaction of her interview. So it's a reaction of reaction of reaction in which she called out Bob in return for bringing her up. Now, I watched the video. It's 20 minutes. I got through half of it because I'm like, I love you, Monet, but you're not giving me what I need from this. I'm getting annoyed. I'm getting bored. It just wasn't going anywhere. And I could definitely see it was just coming across as staged and contrived and fake. So I couldn't just continue with the shenanigans of it all. So she did respond to Monet reacts to Bob the Drag Queen's Ginger Minj video. What you should have called it was Monet reacts to Bob the Drag Queen reacting to Monet's video of Ginger Minj. That'd have been a long ass title, but it would have I feel like it would have like a funny connotation. Like I said, you're watching a reaction of a reaction of a reaction. Now, both videos are fairly lighthearted. Neither drag queen seems terribly upset, whilst there is a level of frustration for both, knowing how close Bob and Monet are. It's basically like watching two siblings bicker, or in some may say, have a bit of a sibling rivalry. And yet, we know there's genuine love there. They both refer to each other as their best friend. Also, they are still recording episodes of Sibling Rivalry, and they're reacting to season 18. So yeah, I definitely feel like it was some BS going on in regards to that. And it wasn't just me that wasn't buying what the girls was selling. There were people in the comments that also were saying that. So now, one person said, "This is fake drama I live for," wrote one fan of the Monet's video. "I cannot handle this non-drama," added another, while someone else put, "We're all in on this faux drama." Now, others joined in on the laughs, with one person saying, "I need Trixie Mattel and Katya to do a Queens Who Like to Watch on this whole issue." Well, you're giving them an idea. They just might do it. Now, one fan wrote, "This is such nothing tea, and I'm obsessed," on Bob's video. Another fan commented, "This is the funniest thing ever." And from a cynical perspective, the pair could just be using this faux drama to promote themselves in their upcoming projects, tours, and so on. Because, Bob has a comedy special that's currently airing on Hulu. Monet just announced dates for her upcoming show that she has. So these girls are booked and busy. And yeah, it's all in good fun. At the end of the day, I don't think these two would allow someone like a Ginger Minj to come between their friendship and there was that. And funny enough, sidebar, because I found this to be way more interesting in this whole situation. There's no shade to you, girl, but I wish I could find the damn video. But Caswell, the thing I don't like about him is like you can't take his videos and like download it to your phone because he has the thing where you can't even put it in. And I would have liked to have shown this video that he did. So he wound up doing a video. Damn, I wish I could find it. But he did a video on Jackie B and was saying that she needs to go on, what was it? On Drag Race. That they need to bring like old drag queens from back in the day on Drag Race, which I did say they should do. And I was sitting there like, yeah, I would have loved to have seen her do that because I absolutely love Jackie B. She's an icon within the drag world. But here's the thing. RuPaul does not want no icons that came up around the same time as him to sit beside him on that damn show. So maybe back in the day it would have, but I would love to see a Drag Race type show that brings those queens in. And he also said something that was related to the scripted stuff, like have somebody said her and Peaches Christ come in and write like a comedy bit. And one of the things I love about Peaches Christ is Peaches has written like parodies, like little plays that she's done, parodies of movies that exist. Like Mean Girls did Mean Gays and things of that nature. That was a good show, by the way. I saw that when I was in LA. And so I was like, that would be perfect for something like Drag Race to really take a lot of our pop culture references and put this queer twist on it and really bring it into the show. But the fact of the matter is, Drag Race is so Disney-fied now that they would never want to do that. They're always trying to. Now we see Drag Race. I don't even see it through a queer gaze anymore. I see it through it's a queer show seen through the eyes of heterosexuals because they're the ones that's like you're trying to get eyes on them to watch stuff. And my thing is, make stuff for us. If the straight people want to come along and support it and watch it, that's great. But we shouldn't be making things specifically to pander to a specific audience. So I'm like, shit, if she's never going to show, I would love to create. I have an idea for a drag show that I would love to do and bring certain icons on. I don't want to start spilling because I don't want people to steal the idea. But I definitely see myself one day being like the pray tell of a drag show, a drag competition series, and having like drag icons sitting up there as a judge. So I say all this to say, because I don't know, I need to add that with the Bob thing. What do you guys think of that idea, the thing I was just talking about? And also this whole situation between Bob and Monet. Are y'all buying it? I'm calling cap on this mess. I think it's all sheer comedy. I'm not buying it. And that's why I didn't stick around and watch the full Monet video because I was like, I see through it. I see through all that Maybelline. In the words of Peaches from a Low Down Dirty Shame. The other Peaches, not Peaches Christ. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. What did I see? I remember karaoke from the karaoke. I read that one already. It said you skipping comments. Am I? Which comment did I Which comment did I skip? Because I remember I did see this one. I posted that one. Posted the karaoke one, which was actually Karamo. That was the last one. So this is the fresh comment. Ethan Embry aged horribly. Oh yeah, because now he got a receding hairline. Remember who I thought was old gym coach in Scream 7 cast poster? The Lance Henriksen guy is Ethan Embry. He's 47 but looks 70. No, he's the one that I believe has on like he is I believe his character is the one where he's playing I guess what do you call him, an orderly or whatever the case is? He's the one that works at the mental institution because of the scrubs thing that he had on. So I think that's where he's in that. I don't think he is like the one that gets hit by the car allegedly by Gail Weathers because there is a sequence that they talk about that I've been hearing the rumors about that Gail hits a guy with her car, whatever the case is. Turns out he was somebody who escaped an insane asylum, something or another like that. So there's a story regarding that. All this heated rivalry talk makes me wonder if my last situationship is thinking about the days when we pretended we weren't messing around. Well, these little confused boys be loving to do that. The trailer for season 3 of UK versus the World had me intrigued. Oh yeah, I did see the trailer was up. I didn't get around to watching it because I was busy putting the show together and trying to catch up on a couple of shows or whatever before. But I guess what I'll do is I'll check it out once I wrap up the show. That's weird. Yeah, it must have disappeared from on your end. You know, this happens a lot with, I don't know, YouTube. Y'all be telling me these stories about YouTube be up in here chopping people's comments and things from the zeitgeist. So it ain't me. All right. Anyway, so all right, y'all. It looks like we're at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this long, crazy, wild ride of a show. Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, also smash the notification bell if you haven't already. Have I considered doing movie reviews? I do movie reviews on here. I mean, I did one of when I talked about what's that damn show? When I talked about 28 Years Later, I did one in between talking about the box office. But I'm thinking what I'm gonna start doing is I'm thinking about setting up a Patreon to do specific stuff. So I think maybe I should do movie reviews there. Also, album breakdown. So I listen to a record and go through the songs, get my overall thoughts. Because I've been thinking about that because Madonna is coming out with a new album soon. And I want to do a situation where it's like we listen to each track, I give my overall thoughts on it, we break it down, the sounds, the influences, all the other stuff. Like I really want to go in and have them do breakdowns on records. I want to do that with hers, I want to do that with Slater's. There's a lot of artists coming out with great records this year that I'm looking forward to. And I'm thinking that I want to set up a Patreon specifically for that. Because YouTube is not going to allow me to play music on here without a damn copyright strike. So I'm thinking about maybe doing movie reviews and album reviews and all that other stuff over there, and any more exclusive stuff that I can possibly get away with. You know, we're trying to find a way to hustle and make some coins. So that's a good idea to transition into like a community with it. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna do that specifically and just stick with YouTube being the gossip stuff. And then I'm like, if you want to see my full breakdown of this album, whatever, go over there and subscribe to the Patreon. I ain't gonna charge y'all a lot. Anyway, so yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of the show. Hit that like button, that subscribe, also smash the notification bell. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you, everybody that was in here kicking with me in these comments and all that good stuff. And yeah, until next time, ciao, darlings.